How's it going, everybody? I am Donut, and we are reacting to Avengers Age of Ultron. If you want to see the full length, the only reaction, if there's no edited reaction, check out the full length reaction in the description below. It's picture in picture. You can just skim through it, watch whatever part of my reaction you want. Go check it out. But yeah, so my predictions before we get into this movie. I gave a little bit of it in the last Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Reaction, which, by the way, if you're new to the channel, I'm doing reactions to the entire MCU from start to finish, so check it out. Go check out the channel and check out those reactions. So, Man of Metal coming down to destroy, or just Man of Metal, what was the exact phrasing? Hold on, I have it up right here. Men of Metal will tear our cities apart. The world will be changed forever. I'm guessing nanomachines, but also aliens in some way. I don't think it's gonna just. I think aliens will be involved in some way. We're bringing, like, again, I cannot see how Coulson is not going to be in this. There was the big debate of, will Coulson be in Ultron or not? I kept being like, maybe, no, obviously not, because they wouldn't want to tie the shows and the movies together. But the last thing we ended off with was bring in the Avengers. So I don't know how we're not going to immediately just pick up right there. I mean, obviously we're probably going to be starting. I don't know. We could start in Sokovia with the Hydra, with Strucker and with Dr. List and stuff. Which I'm going to be interested to see how much of a role Dr. List is going to play in the movie, considering he played such a big role in the show. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll is there anything else I want to say? I'm not sure if the Inhumans are going to show up in here in this movie. I can't see a way that they're not, but I guess they could just be trying to stay by themselves and not really fuck with anything. I guess that's how we could not have to deal with them. The twins are going to be probably two villains in this movie, I can imagine. I doubt they're going to be good guys, just because they're probably being brainwashed and stuff by Hydra. So the twins are going to be villains. I'm not sure who would fight either of them. They're both alien enhanced, but I don't think they're in. There might be Inhumans. It might be our tie-in to the Inhumans. But yeah, Hydra's trying to recreate powers from birth and trying to find the genetics behind it. We're talking about multiple dimensions, quantum entanglement, and stuff like that. So we got the Loki scepter they still have there, which can brainwash. Anyway, main thing I'm interested in is, what is Theta Protocol? It's got to be relevant to this. So let's check it out, y'all. Jump into it. Check out the Patreon. Check out the channel. Check out everything. And until then, let's jump in. Alright, we are here for the discussion. It's going to be a long one. Buckle those seatbelts. Let's...
Boy.
Okay, first of all, this movie, my thoughts on it overall, I don't know how I'm going to place it in the rankings of all of them yet. I'll maybe include it in the description or something, or it'll definitely be on the Discord server. But overall, I would give the movie like a 5 out of 10, I would say. I think it is very much so what I would expect from an Avengers movie, and before I even knew anything about the MCU, this is about what I expected an Avengers to look like, how the plot would sort of like the beats and everything like that. And that's not bad. I don't think it's bad, but it certainly feels like it's being played safe. Like, it's very average. But that said, there's so incredibly much, like, this is the most exposition of any of the movies thus far, and so I have an insane amount to talk about. And it was just a great movie in and of itself, but yeah. Let's say about 5 out of 5. Or, sorry, 5 out of 10.
That was a big jump.
Yeah, 5 out of 10. Which, a lot of people say 5 out of 10 to mean bad. But I do mean perfectly average.
Okay.
It is perfectly average. How did you feel about the movie when you first saw it? How do you feel about it now?
When I first saw it, very, very mixed bag. Like, usually when I walk out of a movie, even a mixed baggish movie, I tend to be pretty excited. Like, just the
try and focus towards the
yes,
mic.
Of course,
it's always the problem.
Like, in general, going to the movies, I'm usually in a very hype mood, and this movie was very hype. But I think the main problem, and this is not a problem with the movie in isolation, but when it was coming out, the ad campaign was focused very heavily on, like, all the big scenes in the movie. Like, you had the Hulkbuster, you had Ultron, you had... I don't remember if we saw any of Vision.
Is the Hulkbuster the suit or the containment unit?
The suit itself.
Oh, okay.
That plus the containment unit plus the floaty thing is all Veronica.
Yeah.
Which, by the way...
Oh, I know what you meant by the float. I thought you meant the satellite at first, which I thought wasn't Veronica. But I know what you mean by the floaty thing.
Yeah. Also, dank Archie Comics reference.
Okay, with Veronica?
Yeah. Because Bruce Banner's other love interest is, of course, Betty Ross.
Right.
So, it's Betty and Veronica.
But who's Veronica?
The floating thing.
No, but you're saying it like it's Betty and Veronica. Who's Veronica?
I mean, this is where the reference
and what do you
breaks
mean
down.
Betty? What do you mean Betty and Veronica? What are you talking about?
Because they're... Now, this kind of breaks down as I'm talking about it.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You're like, you know Betty Ross?
Yeah.
Veronica. What?
I mean, the reason why they named the floating thing Veronica...
Yes.
...is because it's a play on Betty and Veronica, the two main girls in Archie Comics.
Where's the Betty come in?
It's because Bruce also worked on Veronica, and he likes Betty.
What?
Now, this sounds retarded as I'm saying it.
I don't understand. The name is just Veronica.
Yeah, it is.
You can't say it's a combination of Betty and Veronica
No, I mean-
when the name is just Veronica.
Yeah, but that's why they named it Veronica. Because it plays off the fact that Bruce has a Betty in his life. You know, it's like...
I don't understand.
It's like his bad ex.
I don't understand one iota what you were trying to tell me. Somebody else explain this in the comments. I have zero iota what you're trying to explain to me. That there are two characters in Archie Comics. One is named Betty.
Yes.
One is named Veronica.
Yes.
So this is named Veronica because the combination...
No. Because... It's named Veronica as a reference to the Archie Comics character.
Veronica.
Yes.
Yes. Where does Betty come in?
The only way it comes in is that Banner's love interest is Betty Ross.
But where does the Betty come in? Like, you can
this
say
scenario,
that as
yes.
much as you want, but
Yes.
it's still just named Veronica.
Yes.
So where does the
I'm
Betty come in?
I'm not saying the Betty's connected at all to this weapon.
You said it's a combination of Betty and Veronica.
No, I'm saying, you know, that's a reference.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Oh my lord. What is happening? We are already off to an insane start.
All right.
I don't even know where to go from there. I don't even know where to go from there. Well, I'm very curious before I get into this discussion. What is the general gist of people's opinions on the movie, would you say, as a whole?
I'd say this is where most people started to, not sour on the MCU, but it's where people started to, like, say that there was a formula to it.
Okay.
Because, like, it is a good movie, but it's also one with a lot of, like, weirdness to it. And it's one especially, like, Joss Whedon, who wrote it, said it was the most difficult movie he's written.
I can understand that.
Like, he had a big amount, like, he had a lot of problems with trying to balance everything.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I do think they did a very good job of balancing it. Like, I think this is the best paced movie out of all of them. Like, but in the same way that it's played very safe. Like, it doesn't try and do any, you know, because it's played so safe. It is very well paced. Like, there was no point that really felt like a dip. Especially, almost every movie I hate the, like, melodramatic dip, which was about 8 minutes in this movie. There was, like, an 8-minute, we're on the farm, we had a little moment with Banner and Romanoff, and the rest of it wasn't really that, like, melodramatic.
Right.
Like, it was, you know, they might be arguing or something, or somebody might be feeling bad, but they linger on it for, like, a couple seconds or a minute, and arguing's not melodramatic, really.
Right.
But, yeah, I appreciate that. Not a lot of melodrama in this movie at all.
Fair enough.
So yeah, kept it very quick. Kept it nice.
Yeah, I'd say overall, like, most people would probably not give it, like, a 2 out of 10, but they'd probably give it a 5 out of 10 as well.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Let's talk about the villains of the movie. Of course, the biggest villain in the entire movie, Baron Wolfgang von Strucker.
Oh, boy.
The man who's been built up for barely any in the movies. We see him for a second, really, at the end of Winter Soldier, and then he's in this movie and immediately taken care of. For me, he's been hyped up for months.
Oh, boy.
Because it's been, since Winter Soldier, it's been a season and a half of S.H.I.E.L.D. and plenty of stuff is going on. So while, him not being directly connected, it is... even though people have had to wait way longer between Winter Soldier and, what am I trying to say? Between Winter Soldier and this?
Yeah.
Actually watching the TV shows and stuff like that, just being in the universe for this long since Winter Soldier feels so much different. Like, it does feel like he's been a big player in the world. I mean, he's been mentioned quite a lot whenever Hydra comes up at all.
Okay.
So, yeah, hyped up quite a lot, and then, at least in the MCU as a whole, not really in the shows, and then just really quickly taken up. I was so happy how fast they just, nipped him in the bud. Even he himself just no, surrender. I'm gonna surrender. Was not expecting that at all. But yeah, being extremely cocky in his whole plan with Ultron too, I'm gonna turn myself in, they won't find our other stuff, just none of that worked at all.
Yeah.
For the highest, smartest guy at Hydra, he's such a joke.
Yeah.
And yeah, List is, still alive, probably in prison, but we didn't see him get captured or anything. We just saw him on the computer hiding Hydra stuff, and then Tony just comes in and blasts him, and that's the last we saw of him. So, probably in jail. I cannot imagine why he wouldn't be, but, at the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, as a bit, it was a gag, but they, left Garrett on the floor and then walked away, and he came back, and then they, came back and killed him.
Okay.
But, it's been established that they would just walk away and leave somebody there. And I've read some Golden Age comics, so they could pull some Red Skull shit on Dr. List, where it's just, I'm still just laying here, and they did nothing, and I'm alive! Which, speaking of Red Skull, by the way...
Oh, yeah. You should bring this up now.
I guess I should bring this up now. People in the Discord know about this already. But while taking these notes about the Infinity Stones and that, I was going back to the first Avenger, wanted to see how the Tesseract blew up the Red Skull. I don't know how I missed that. Definitely didn't blow him up. Definitely sent him in space somewhere. Definitely still alive, even though it's been 70 years. I'm not sure how it's going to work. Maybe he just got put in some sort of, tiny, the Tesseract shot him it shot him through time and space, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know how that would work, but that's the only thing I can think of. Unless, he did just meet it with Thanos, and Thanos puts him in another, Odin pod or whatever. One of those things. Because it's not specific to Odin. I don't know how it works. I don't know if it could keep you alive for 70 years.
I mean, I don't know if that's the paw doing it. That's just the Odin sleeve.
No, but they put Jane in there.
Oh, true.
We know it's... Yeah. Again, we've talked about this before. The Odin sleep is nothing special. He just goes to sleep. It's not even hibernation. Or else his body would slow down his metabolism process, but he has to be put into this machine because Odin's sleep is nothing. It's just he goes to sleep. Where were we? So Red Skull's in space somewhere.
Yeah.
He's gotta be. And he's coming back for probably Ragnarok. I feel like we'll see him again. Because I don't feel like we're gonna really be progressing the plot, with what Thor's doing after this movie until Ragnarok.
Okay.
I don't expect to get there till then. I assume a lot of the other stuff, because, Guardians really surprised me, so now I'm expecting a little bit more stuff like Guardians. Doctor Strange, I don't know anything about him at all, so that could be a standalone thing. I doubt Ant-Man will. I feel like Ant-Man's going to immediately tie into being an Avenger in his movie.
Okay.
Or, have an after-credit scene where they do a meet-up or something. Black Panther, I thought, was a whole other planet thing, but we'll get to that when we get to the notes on whatever that guy's name was, Claw or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought that was going to be its own like standalone thing because I thought it was another planet or something, but apparently not. Apparently it's just Africa.
Oh.
So, what other movies were there between there? I'm not sure. The Spider-Man one might be original, but that takes place in. I mean, I know Spider-Man lives in New York. I don't know if that movie's going to take place in New York, but assumingly if it did, then I don't know how they would keep it original. In terms of not having to like further the plot.
Okay.
Like even each of the individual movies kind of have furthered the plot in a little bit. But Guardians, I mean, it did, but it did away from Earth. It's not furthering Earth's plot, I guess.
Right. It's like it mostly just advanced the Infinity Stones.
Yes, yeah, but it's not connected to anything on Earth. Nobody knows about it. Is I guess what I'm trying to get at. Like it's not in this like informational that everybody has.
Right. So what you're saying, like
informational sphere that everybody has. What I'm trying to say.
So when you say standalone, you mean like with Doctor Strange, for instance, like maybe that's a thing that doesn't involve like
Earth. Like
yeah.
Yeah. Again, I know nothing about him at all. Literally nothing. So it could just be a planet thing. Yeah. So yeah, by standalone, I do mean not relating back to anybody on Earth. Really, like Peter's from Earth, but he didn't come back to Earth at the end of the movie or anything. He's not coming. Like he went somewhere else into space.
Right.
At the end of it. So ostensibly, Guardians 2 is going to be the exact same. Disconnected maybe until the very end or something. But either way, whatever I'm trying to say, I don't think we're gonna get back to possible Red Skull or just any of the main story continuing until Ragnarok.
Okay,
that's my guess. Also I just want to say, like, it's so easy to just, we're handing over Strucker to Nato. I assumingly we handed over List to Nato unless he's still just laying on that floor. It's so easy to just hand him right over. I keep saying Nato and NATO. It is NATO, right? Not NATO.
Yeah, it's NATO.
NATO. But yeah, it's so easy to just hand them over there and not lock them in a special shield cage for no reason. They're Hydra people. Just hand them over to the government. They're Nazis. But okay, Strucker's men, like the whole base here, definitely way more amped out than any of the other Hydra soldiers we've seen, and I really like that you can see the ranks of them just through the whole like fight. Like, you have the extremely low-ranking infantry that just has the normal-ass guns. You got the vehicle support with the giant machine guns or just the blue beam cannons. You got the high-ranking infantry equipped with the blue beam Hydra weapons, which I've mentioned it a couple of times, so I'll bring it up now. So the Tesseract powered the Hydra weapons, and they still hold a charge from back then because it's the Tesseract, it's an Infinity Stone, it's got a lot of juice in it. That charge is probably going to last hundreds of years. But the beam they're shooting out is not Tesseract, it is blue beam, as I'm going to refer to it as. They just shoot out blue beam. But yeah, then you got like the highest ranking infantry looked like they had like Chitauri armor and weapons and stuff. Assumingly they got that all from the giant Chitauri bus, as I called it, the giant thing that all the Chitauri were coming off of when they came in. It seems like they stripped them off of that as opposed to just Chitauri soldiers and stuff. Like, I assume it was a lot easier to smuggle and hide one of those giant buses than it would be hundreds of Chitauri soldiers to make the amount of armor they needed to.
Right.
And as we know that the Chitauri armor has a virus on it that kills humans but doesn't kill Chitauri, but that should not actually be a plot hole because the cure that Simmons made for that was created pretty much right after the Chitauri invasion, so assumingly it's been circulated out into the world for in case anybody else just happens to touch Chitauri armor or something. I assume that Hydra got a hold of that and has just been giving their men that. But yeah, so that is cool to see that they actually have a certain number of troops who can wear them and are immune to the virus now. And they had the aerial troops that had like Stark-like thrusters on them. I'm not sure where they got that from. It could be the thrusters on the bus, or if I'm just gonna keep calling it a bus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if the bus was like flying or if it actually had thrusters. Like I know it was flapping, but I don't know if it also was being aided by thrusters or if Strucker just got a hold of Stark tech because I mean probably like. Yeah, it's got to be still out there circulating.
Yeah.
Even though he stopped, they're still going to be circulating and stuff, so.
Plus, like, presumably...
I meant his weapons and stuff in general.
Yeah.
I realize it's like his repulsors, which I don't think he sells, but have probably still ended up, in enemy hands in some way or another with the amount of shit that he breaks.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of suits that he breaks.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, like, just they have to have some robotic stuff in general because when we see Ultron for the first time in like his like nicely built body, like the big tall body,
Yeah.
like he's built it in Strucker's base.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So presumably, like anything on him would be stuff that he salvaged from Strucker's base.
Yeah, did he not build that body after he had raided all the places? No, before Claw. That might have been after.
I believe it was after because when he goes to Claw, he has the twins, but the twins meet him at Strucker's base.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, he would have to have all that stuff there. Yeah. So I guess he would have. They probably just redesigned the repulsors themselves.
Yeah.
And, well, no, because if he retrofitted the repulsors onto the SHIELD helicarrier, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did. Then Hydra should have that information anyway. Like, they should have all that, how to do that.
Right, yeah.
So, that's probably how they got it.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else do I have here? They probably could have just got plenty of the Chitauri armor and weapons and shit like that when they raided the fridge and the sandbox and all that shit anyway. So I'm not really sure what I'm talking about. But still, I think that's what they were trying to imply for people who hadn't seen the show, I guess.
Mm.
But, or maybe just, all the other Hydra agents had them and Strucker's like, I got my own armor, I don't fucking need that. You guys can have that. But yeah, they were using the Mind Stone to bring out the powers in the twins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how well that works, but okay. How do you hold an AI up to somebody and they develop super speed?
I mean, with Wanda, I think it makes more sense because like her abilities are very mind based.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like her showing people their greatest fears is not the same as Loki's staff, but it's it's on the same skill tree sort of.
It seemed mental at first, and that the red stuff was just a visual aid, but it's not.
She does lift stuff with the red stuff.
She does create a big shield with it.
Mm.
It is so it's going into their ears and doing something
Right.
with their brain.
I mean, maybe that's just mind power.
I don't think it can be mind power if you punch somebody in the brain so hard they get brain damage. That's not mental damage. It's still physical damage.
Yeah, but if you're a psychic and you psychically hit someone with mind power, they get knocked out. Like that's mental damage.
But it would be like psychically rearranging their brain, as opposed to just making the brain fire a certain way.
Mm.
I mean, maybe that is what she's doing. I guess she might not be going in there just wiggling shit. She might be going in there and specifically messing with the, neurons or whatever.
Maybe, because, also, it doesn't seem like she decides on what people see.
No.
Like, they see their greatest fear, implying that she's just hitting a greatest fear trigger or something in there.
She just hits that nightmare button.
So that's it. She gets the red stuff, and she can pick up stuff with the red stuff, but you can also put the red stuff in you in order to hit the nightmare trigger.
I hate it.
And then Quicksilver.
Oh.
Quicksilver's a bit rough with the Mind Stone.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if he can think, if he's moving around,
if he can think he's moving real fast, he can.
Because
we know his body's physically different.
Yeah, but we see from his point of view, his thoughts are moving at the same speed as his body. He essentially sees the world in slow motion.
Yeah.
So
Because he's got a fast metabolism.
because he thinks real hard, and mild spoilers for Death Notes. In Death Note, we established that when your mind works really hard, it uses up all the calories
Oh
in your
no,
body.
not this.
So what I'm thinking is that Quicksilver thinks so hard that the rest of his body has to speed up to keep up with his minds.
I hate it, and I hate you.
Be assured, this is not a spoiler for future Quicksilver abilities.
Oh yeah, when he resurrects from the dead, I mean,
he moves.
it's happened before.
He moves faster than Death. Death can't keep up with him.
I mean, we'll see about that.
Also, this does bring up the possibility of, like the Violet Stone that Ronan had. Like, if you
The
hold...
orb?
Yeah, but I mean the stone inside the orb.
I thought the stone was called the orb.
No.
Oh, okay. Why do they just call? They just call the thing it's in the orb?
Yeah, I mean, in the same way they called Loki's staff until they realized, oh, I guess that's an Infinity Stone.
But they knew it was what was inside of it. It's like calling the Tesseract the big box.
I mean, they kind of are, because in the dream you see the Tesseract, the box break open inside a big stone.
But they don't call it the big box. I mean, to be fair, they don't
That's
call
right.
it the whatever stone. I guess you're right. They don't
Yeah.
call it the whatever stone.
Mhm.
I guess this is the only one so far. I was gonna say this is the only one so far we have a whatever stone name for.
Yeah.
But I really could, because even when it was outside of the orb, they kept calling it the orb the whole movie. So they're just stupid then.
They are.
Okay. I mean, I understand Ronan being that stupid. And a lot of the other ones, I get that they wouldn't know what it is, so they were just going to keep calling it the orb, like Peter, and Yondu. I guess I don't know who in the movie would not call it the orb. I don't know if Thanos or Thanos' best friend ever called it the orb.
I couldn't say off the top of my head.
But anyway.
Anyways, I'm bringing that up because, do you think if you grab that, we know if you grab that, you die.
Yeah.
But is there a 0.001% chance that you grab it, and then it gives you special powers? Like, it lets you move real fast.
The purple one?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what they did. I mean, that is what they did at the end of the movie. I mean, that is literally how the stone was described. If you're a special boy, then you can hold the stone.
I guess the Mind Stone makes sense. You grab it, and either it breaks you, or if you have a special mind, it wakes up your special minds.
But see, that's the thing. Right, I did say the Mind Stone, but it's not the Mind Stone that they did to bring out the power in the twins. It was the staff, because they had not broken open the staff yet.
Ah.
So it can't have, and the thing that it was encased in was alien, because Jarvis had no idea what it was.
Right.
So it's not Strucker made that around it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't hide it so they don't know we broke into it already.
Okay, I see what you mean.
So, yeah, I'm not sure how that works. I think they are maybe implying that you hold the Mind Stone and they had enough willpower to not die. But I don't know. It shouldn't be possible because the scepter was not broken open yet.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the scepter was doing weird, stuff to the Avengers in Avengers 1, so maybe that was the Mind Stone this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it does have some sort of, outward effect. So, the Avengers, Strucker, every single person on planet Earth seems to be using the term enhanced, which has been brought up, a day ago. It's been, maybe a week.
Okay.
Simmons has said, hey, we got so many, different kind of powered people. How about we start calling them enhanced or other? Just a suggestion. And Coulson said, yeah, we'll deal with that later. And then it's been, a week, and everybody, even Hydra's calling them enhanced. Hydra's got other terms. They got sub-terms. They're calling them alien enhanced. Word travels fast. So, Simmons had to just get on Twitter and just be heads up, new words, enhanced, other. Everybody get with it. At Strucker, where are you at?
Either that or Strucker is really, really into Gemma's random ramblings.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they must just be keeping up with S.H.I.E.L.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D. like just changed it over and they're like, all right, guys, we're using the term too now. I guess so.
Yes.
I guess they're just also using the term. But they've been saying it. They say it so casually, like this is just a thing they're used to. Like, oh, I can't believe we only got 2 of these alien enhanced. When it's like you just started using that word yesterday and you're using it like it's common parlance now.
Now, have you considered that maybe Gemma got it from Hydra?
Oh, she was undercover at Hydra. I'm sorry, Coulson, this is totally my idea. Oh, we should call them others enhanced. Maybe. Yeah, I don't really care, but it is funny just how quickly it caught on.
Yeah.
Okay, so, everything that I really thought during this whole opening sequence that this was in media res. It took me a while to realize that it was not in media res.
That's worrying because I know you don't like in media res.
Oh, I hate in media res.
You just blank out and wait for it to be explained.
No, I do.
Oh no.
But so everything, because I was expecting to find out what they did either after the Avengers or after the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I didn't really need to know what anybody did after the Avengers. Like, I guess there's anything special happened during the Avengers. I was just thinking that's the last time we saw some of them. But I guess the most important part is the, between Winter Soldier and now.
Yeah.
Because, fucking S.H.I.E.L.D. collapsed. I put this down as happening during Winter Soldier, but I actually think that this happened when Hawkeye joined S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
When I rewatched it, I'm pretty sure that was the line he said when he joined S.H.I.E.L.D. is when Fury set up the cabin for him with his family and everything.
And they kept it off the books, which is why it's not public anymore.
Right.
Or why it isn't public.
And by Fury set this up for me, he doesn't mean his wife, right?
I don't think that's the implication.
I watched it a second time and I still wasn't sure if he was like, yeah, Fury gave me this wife. Because it seems like something Fury would do. And I don't know a lot about Hawkeye, so I don't know if he'd be fine with that.
Help me, Fury. I'll join S.H.I.E.L.D., but I'm too much of an incel. I need my government wife.
But okay, so...
But no, I'm pretty sure... The gist of it is supposed to be he had the girlfriend before.
Yes. And Fury set up the cabin for him.
Yeah.
I assumed that's what it was, but I can never be too sure.
Of course.
But yeah, so that's been going on for like the whole time. And I guess he just, after S.H.I.E.L.D. collapsed, he just went there. Like, I thought he was explaining what had happened after S.H.I.E.L.D., but I guess he didn't. He just... No. We still have no idea what the fuck happened to Hawkeye after the Winter Soldier. So we know that Black Widow and Captain America got on Stark payroll. We already know that Hill did at the end of Winter Soldier. We saw that. Mm-hmm. Banner's been working for Stark since Avengers. So and Thor has just been chilling in Jane's apartment, I guess. Yeah. Which... does she still have an apartment? We don't know, but she's won Nobel Peace Prizes at this point, so she better not still have that apartment that she's just sharing. Because otherwise, it seems like I'm not sure if Selvig lives there or not. He was somewhere else in London. No, they live in London, don't they? I thought she might have.
I don't remember if she lives in London.
I thought they relocated to London.
They may have.
I thought S.H.I.E.L.D. relocated to London. Sorry, let me rephrase that.
Okay.
I think S.H.I.E.L.D. said, fuck you, you're moving to London at the end of Thor. Or at the end of Avengers. At the beginning of Avengers. I think that was what it was. That they moved Jane to England to keep her away from Thor. Right? Or to keep her just safe from danger? Or something? Or am I thinking of Ross? I remember S.H.I.E.L.D. moved fucking somebody. They said, we're fucking moving your girlfriend and you're never gonna see her again. But no, I do remember them doing that, but I don't remember who it was for. I don't remember if it was for Ross or if it was for Jane. It was for one of them.
Incidentally, Selvig's looking really good now.
Yeah, he's looking great.
His brain's all scrambled.
Nice, he's fine. Mm-hmm. He's doing dope. But yeah, I don't know if he's still living in the apartment. If it is, I would love to see that sitcom of Thor, Darcy, intern Ian, and Selvig just all crammed in his apartment while Jane is off doing important shit. I mean, like, in between raids, you know, they have been doing raids this entire time, but,
Of course.
you know, they gotta have some days off where Thor is just in his underpants eating some Captain Crunch. I was about to say Captain America.
You don't know.
That's a
Maybe.
bad fanfic. Thor is under eating Captain America.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to see that so badly. But yeah, everybody else is on payroll. Everybody else is getting paid. Thor just mooching off Jane, I guess.
Yeah.
He's not getting paid. He doesn't have any money, but he's just on Earth for a year.
He could go to Asgard.
But we know he hasn't.
We know he hasn't. That's correct.
So
Loki, still Odin, presumably.
Loki still Odin. Loki still keeps sending Sif down to Earth to deal with other shit. Like, Loki has just been Odin for so long, just running this place. At this point, I don't know what he wants. At this point, it seems like he might just do this forever. He might just be like, I guess I'm Odin now. He seems to be, by the way, running Asgard pretty good. It's been a year, and he has been on top of shit. He's been like, yeah, Sif, go handle that. Yeah, Sif, go handle that. Because I don't need to send a whole army, or I don't need to do nothing about it. I can actually do something about it. I'm really liking this new Odin. Really running the country like a real king.
Oh boy.
Really actually getting some shit done.
It's because he doesn't have to Odin sleep.
That's true. He doesn't have to spend months sleeping. And spending all their resources and keeping him alive. So, back to in between the first Avenger.
Oh yeah.
The whole search for the scepter and everything like that. Thor got all the Avengers together searching for the scepter. Pretty cool. You know, Captain America's their leader, but it was cool having Thor, like, leading this charge of, we need to find this scepter and blah, blah, blah. But they've been doing this for a year, just raiding, I guess, small-time little Hydra bases. Like, what the fuck have they been doing for a full-ass year? What, more importantly, has Black Widow been doing? Because this is her job. This is her whole reason for being an Avenger.
Now, I still haven't watched season 2 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I will say, when I watched this movie for the first time, I assumed, like, the 1 year gap made sense, because I figured, yes, the Avengers are personally taking down each and every base, and there's a lot of bases.
Nope.
I've heard from you that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has apparently taken out the vast majority of the bases.
Not even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because it's been Coulson, and he hasn't been an Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. for most of it.
What?
Because, he's been, it's depending on how you look at it, because none of it is really S.H.I.E.L.D. None of it's technically on the books S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
So it's just a bunch of different people running around saying, I'm S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm S.H.I.E.L.D. So, whether I want to say he's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or not, there's no real S.H.I.E.L.D. right now.
Okay.
Even right now, through this movie, there's still no real S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
They're still just criminals. They're still just criminals. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, yes, that Coulson with a team of Hydra agents took down the other Hydra agents. To be fair, most of the heads were done while they were all, again, not part of real S.H.I.E.L.D. because we still have not been actual, legal S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, we've been S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
We've been real S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's not legal S.H.I.E.L.D. But yeah. So that happened, that's been going on. And it's like, for almost a whole year, they didn't. They've just been waiting for the Avengers to do it, I guess. Like, now I understand, like, it's really, I get why Coulson was so, like, breaking the law and doing all this crazy shit and acting like a madman, because he's like, it's been a fucking year and the Avengers have done jack shit. I've got to just do this shit myself because nothing's getting done here. So he found all the Hydra, well, the ones he couldn't find, just had them kill each other, found the last one, told him, all right, now you guys go take care of him. Oh, Fucking, it's insane. It's insane.
Oh boy.
But all of Hydra should be defeated now, except for List is alive and Red Skull somewhere in the space. But if Red Skull comes back, I don't think he's gonna come back as Hydra, because he's gonna have no body left. There's plenty of Hydra agents left, I assume. Okay. But it's one of the things that once you take down the heads, what are they gonna do? You know? I don't think we have to worry about a Hydra agent hiding in the closet and killing somebody. I'm pretty sure they're done. Hydra is gone.
Okay.
I don't... Hydra can never be fully killed, I don't think. Mm-hmm. You know? But for the most part, I think as a main villain of a movie or even a TV show or anything like that, I don't think they're going to be a thing anymore.
Okay.
Which I am excited for a fresh non-Hydra plot, because it's been a while at this point for me. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been a season and a half, so, and some movies, so yeah. Gotta say though, whole opening sequence, that CGI was fucking wonky. That was weird.
I will say, by the way, that was the last scene done for the movie.
Really?
So it's possible that just didn't have enough time to like bake in the oven.
Yeah, I definitely what it felt like. It was, yeah, it just didn't feel like the tracking shot specifically is what felt the most wonky. Everything else in the movie felt fine, but that specifically was like, oof, oof. That was so bad. Yeah, I am a sucker for interconnecting fights, and the end was like one big interconnecting shot, but it was really quick. You know, it wasn't that much of a shot. That whole fight at the beginning, even though the CGI was not that great, it was a dope interconnecting fight. There were so much team-ups this movie. Oh, like, yeah. So many just team-up attacks. Especially Cap and Thor. Cap and Thor work so well together.
Yeah.
I fucking love them. And yeah, this is a great mirroring of the first Avengers fight, with them storming the base and then leaving the base, but really just all that compacted into just storming the base for this. But I really like that comparison too. You know, Cap is just the first Avenger going in here storming this Hydra base, and then now we have all the Avengers here going in storming this base.
Yeah.
Even though Cap found the base himself the first time, and this time none of them could fucking find the base, and it took Tulsa to do it. But let's move on to the big man himself. Mm-hmm. Not the big man himself. Well, I guess he's not a... Well, you know, he's not a man, but he's kind of a man.
Okay.
Ultron. Like, I was gonna say, he's not a man, but he doesn't want to be kind of man. That's his whole thing. But yeah. How do I even begin? Where do I even begin to talk about Ultron? He is a fascinating villain, but not one that is easy to talk about. I am in love with the concept called high strangeness. I feel like it's pretty easy to grasp what it is. It's high strangeness. It's stuff that is really fucking weird that you can't explain. That, I mean, it's stuff like Cthulhu and stuff like, you know, the great gods and everything like that. Okay. But that's a little bit different. That is, high strangeness is more supposed to be, I mean, like, that is, but when I'm talking about high strangeness, I do mean, I think it has to be stuff on Earth. It has to be stuff that can be, it can't be explained. Right? I think Cthulhu is too much of an explanation. Okay. Because then it's just, oh, well, Cthulhu did it.
Okay.
Right? Like, crazy shit is happening, but you know it is because of elder gods.
Right.
Whereas, the best kind of high strangeness is when you can't chalk it up to anything at all. Like, Ultron. He initiates for no reason. There's no scientific logical reason why he should have initiated. He just did.
Right.
And maybe that has to do with the power of the Mind Stone just being around again. Maybe it's, you know, radiating some sort of effect. But I'm not sure. It's we don't know. We don't know how he initiated. It is complete high strangeness, and everything about him is complete high strangeness built off of that. Like, it's done so well with him being so incomprehensible, and at times he starts to make sense, and then he just completely goes off on some weird thing that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And his, as they say, his AI is not human. It is decidedly not human. But it's not just like a robot AI either or anything, because that's based off of a human. I mean, like, one with free will would have to be based off of a human. But his is not. And it's weird how that works, because a lot of the, aliens are also based off of humans and everything.
Okay.
But yeah, he is decidedly not human and not, like, I don't want to say not robot, but, like, he's just not a normal AI with free will. Because it has to be based off of how a human brain sort of works in some way. It's not like you're recreating a human brain, but it's working in the same similar way.
Okay.
And same with Jarvis. Jarvis operates in the way a human brain works.
Okay.
But yeah, he has a very human personality to him in a way that the way he talks is very human.
Mm-hmm.
But then the way that he, I don't know. Again, it's so hard to talk about, but that's why it's terrible for a discussion, but it's very entertaining, and I love to it creeps me out. It creeps me out how weird he is, which is how it's done. It's done well.
The first time I saw the movie, I didn't like the way Ultron worked because, I'm very used to comics Ultron, which I won't get into.
Sure.
But what hit me upon, I want to say my second or third rewatch, was that the reason he's so different is because he is, in some way, very influenced by Tony. He is a broken Tony. And, that bleeds into, how quippy he is. He's always quippy. I don't know where the Tony quite comes in, but it is there. And, the way he speaks.
I think it's there in the sense of, Tony is the one who built him and is the one who, it is entirely Tony's system, so that makes sense.
Right.
But I don't think that has anything to do with, his AI or anything. I think that's just his directive going bad. I think the parts of him that are Tony are the parts that were supposed to be Tony. I don't think there's anything weird about that.
I mean, it struck me as so weird because, at his core, he is a defensive program. He was built to monitor and defend the Earth.
Yeah. And
to lead the Iron Legion if necessary. But there is this, strange comedy to how he works.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. But I think that is, I don't know if I would call that Tony's personality.
Plus, there's specifically, there's that one quote from Tony, keep your friends richer and your enemies richer, and then see which is which.
But I mean, again, I think that's all just because Tony's the one who built him, and the very first thing he does is research Tony.
I suppose so.
If you were born and then you immediately research somebody, you're going to hold a lot of their personality traits too, I feel like.
Okay, fair.
I think that's the least weird thing about him. But, I think the big thing that stood out to me was his speech about everyone creates the thing they dread. Mm-hmm. Because it is, for a machine, the most illogical thing he says in the entire movie. And I don't mean just that sentence. I just mean, throughout his whole statement, he just continues to get weirder and crazier in the everyone creates the thing they dread. Men create engines of war. I can kind of see where he's going with that. I would say that men of war create machines of war. Mm-hmm. I don't know where he's getting the men of peace create machines of war, but I can understand the misconception at least.
Okay.
Invaders create Avengers. Is he saying that S.H.I.E.L.D. created the Avengers?
I mean, I think he just means in general, if someone invades a country and causes harm, if someone, blows up the Twin Towers, it creates Avengers. It creates people who want to get revenge.
I guess. He had it as a capital A, so I assumed that he was specifically talking about S.H.I.E.L.D. creating the Avengers, and then the Avengers are going to eventually kill S.H.I.E.L.D.
I mean, I think the easier thing would be, the Chitauri not created the Avengers because they're already in the making, but they created the Avengers.
In what way?
Like, they weren't the Avengers until the Chitauri invaded.
But I wouldn't say the Chitauri invaded. Well, no, they did. I was thinking of from his perspective, because we were trying to invade. But I keep forgetting that we're not the ones who activated the portal.
Right, it's...
I feel like every time I bring up the Tesseract, I constantly forget that we're not the ones who activated it. But anyway, but yeah, then the last one, people create babies, which they fear, which then kill them.
Which, now, I'm not saying it's a logical statement. It was true for him.
In what way?
He built the Vision body, and then the Vision killed him.
He said that way before that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's good foresight.
And...
He made a baby killed him.
I guess he was right in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that. I guess that was the least strange thing about him then. I guess that was completely illogical. The whole no strings on me thing was really creepy, but I don't have anything to add to it. It was a thing.
I will say, a lot of people were very scared of that, not in a fear way, but in a, oh no, Disney owns Marvel. Is this going to be every movie?
What do you mean?
Like, No Strings on Me, of course, Pinocchio reference.
Yeah.
People thought that going forward, most of the MCU was going to have, like, Disney references in it.
Okay.
Like, just as a way to tie it closer to Disney and so that they could more easily integrate into the theme parks and whatnot.
I wouldn't have... If you would have told me that every one of the MCU movies has already had a Disney reference in it, I would 100% believe you. I don't think I would notice that.
Yeah, so there was some anxiety there. But I do think, like, it's a good line. Strong.
Yeah.
Strong motif.
I'm not sure why the fuck they were acting like Ultron might be right by saying that the Avengers are what's wrong with the world. Like, if he was saying humans are what's wrong with the world, I think that would make him a little bit more logical of a villain. But what makes him so crazy and so high strange is this idea that the Avengers are what's wrong with the world. Like, and I want to legitimately ask this question, what the fuck did they ever do?
Not a
What
lot.
did they ever do?
That is a bit of a jump. Like, I do think he would have been more justified if he had said Tony Stark.
What did Tony do?
Arms dealer. Bad man.
Okay, sure. I was thinking Avengers, but, you know, I guess, you know, he would just use that as a catch-all. But, like...
But I do agree. I don't think of anything directly where it's like, yeah,
I
the
guess,
Avengers are...
but see, no, I mean, still, that's bullshit, though. Why isn't he just saying humans, then? Because I was going to say, well, then, if we're just talking about them as people, but that's bullshit. If we're just talking about them as people, why wouldn't he just say humans are bad? Tony and Black Widow, you know, are not any more bad than a lot of other people in the world.
Right.
So why them?
If I had to guess, I think, like, I'd say it's probably a skewed version of his directive, which is, you know, Ultron is supposed to make the Avengers obsolete.
Yeah,
So
I guess that is what it's supposed to be there.
Yeah, like, he's twisted it in his mind into the Avengers are what's wrong with the world.
Yeah.
Because they do represent kind of what's wrong in the world. Like, in the sense that, you know, the whole dynamic of the Avengers and Hydra and bad things happening.
Yeah.
Like, that's all something he's supposed to fix.
You know what? I take it back. He's not very high strangeness. He's very understandably just broken. I mean, the how he initiated is still high strangeness. Yeah. I honestly hope we never get an explanation for that because I think that's the strongest point of his character. But, yeah, I like, because... it's very difficult for, I mean, we'll get into it later when we're actually talking about Tony, but like, I am so never been afraid of the robot uprising or anything like that.
Okay.
The whole, like, robots will kill us, I can't wrap my head around how that would happen. So, like, it takes, you know, a villain like Ultron who is there's no scientific explanation for how he is alive or, you know, active or anything. to have this plot work for me. Because I just couldn't buy it if he was like, I'm going to put the Ultron directive in it, which is going to protect Earth, and oh no, now it's not protecting Earth. Like, that stuff I cannot get behind.
Okay.
I've never been able to get behind that sort of plot and stuff, so this was, like, perfect for me. And yeah, all his, like, pseudo-religious horseshit was fantastic, where he just kept, like, why is he so into religion? Why he was obsessed with religion and meteors.
Yeah.
For, like, no reason.
I mean, that's just high school.
Yeah. Religion and meteors, that's high school, baby. Yeah, his original body, the one before he, like, you know, he built himself the body in Strucker's base. Then he built himself the second body.
Yeah.
The first body, fucking garbage. Like, Strucker, what the fuck were you doing? It's so bad. It's extremely durable. It took almost, like, no damage at all up until, like, the very end of the fight when Iron Man, like, stepped in and just, like, what was it that caused him to take a shitload of damage there right at the end? Maybe Thor also hit him with a hammer a couple times. But I remember right at the end there when you know, Iron Man blasts him and he's like, it doesn't matter, I got fucking 1,000 bodies.
Right.
Or no, that wasn't even his original. No, that's why Iron Man blasted him so easy. That wasn't even the fucking the big one. That wasn't even the big durable body.
Right. Before that,
the big durable body rips the new body in half.
Yeah.
Or the new body rips the durable body in half. Yeah. But yeah, the original durable body is pretty much just durable. Like, his hits did nothing. His blasts did nothing. But then later in the movie, his bigger form does plenty when he hits them and does blasts and stuff. The original form did fucking nothing. It was durable as hell, but, like, Jesus, he blasts him, like, right in the face with a huge laser, and it's, like, not even burnt him. So, yeah, Strucker, just, Jesus Christ. Hydra is so... I really thought Hydra was going to be more impressive, but they're so fucking bad. Alright, villains, Act 3. We got two more to talk about real quickly. Nick Fury. I cannot believe that he has the fucking balls to come to Tony and says, so, you're gonna shut this down, right? Like, after everything he's done, he has the balls to come to Tony and say, you're gonna shut this down. You're gonna shut this down. This program that should do no... Like, what? This program is perfectly safe. And, yeah, nobody thought Fury was dead, seemingly, except for S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, except for Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, all the Avengers, none of them were surprised. Like, fucking Tony's just like, hey, old man, what's up? How's it going? I expected you. S.H.I.E.L.D. is so bad at keeping their secrets. I don't know how the Avengers still don't know that Coulson's alive. I don't know how it's possible. Every other person on Earth knows that Coulson's alive. And, like, whenever it's like anybody is surprised that Fury's dead, it doesn't seem like it's a surprise, you know? Everybody else at S.H.I.E.L.D. knew he was alive. It seems like when S.H.I.E.L.D. collapsed, Coulson's team and Gonzalez's team both were like, oh shit, we gotta restart S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. And they went and tried to go do that, while everybody else in S.H.I.E.L.D. just turned around and was just like, I mean, Fury's right there, I can see him, should we just work with him and just redo I guess we're just doing that. And then meanwhile, Coulson and Gonzalez are fighting it out, and they just look up and go, oh, wait, what happened? Wait, they're all S.H.I.E.L.D's back and they have a helicarrier? Well, we are down here in the bunker hiding the criminals?
I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I do have to ask: was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s did they explain the helicarrier?
I assume that Coulson is working with. I mean, I know Coulson's working with Fury, but I assume he's working with Fury directly with all of this, and it's why he didn't, say anything to anybody about any of this stuff.
Okay.
I'm not excusing any of that. I'm saying that's why he did it, but I still think he should have said something. Yeah, I assume that he's been going behind everybody's back and all those times where he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to recruit people for S.H.I.E.L.D. or I'm going to help this person or help that person. Instead, he's just going to, you know, do whatever the fuck he was doing with Fury.
Okay.
And building the lifeboats. But yeah, so Project Theta was the lifeboats, which... Why he wouldn't say anything about it, I don't know. I don't understand why he was so secretive about all this. I don't get it. If this isn't Project Theta, because they didn't call it Project Theta in the movie, so if this isn't Project Theta, then that could just be something else. But if this is Project Theta, and by bunks they meant seats, then I don't know why he hit it. Could be something else, though. I don't know.
Okay.
Either way, I still stick with my stance of fucking... I'm so mad that S.H.I.E.L.D. is back as big as it is. I thought it was going to be back as just the small-ass little shield that Coulson's got, and it wasn't going to be in the movies. Kind of not looking forward to it being in the movies, and Fury be like... Especially, I thought it was going to be a lot longer without Fury in another movie.
Okay.
But I can't say that I like Fury's character. Like, I love Howard Stark as a character, but I can't say that I like Fury as a character because I just don't feel like he's interestingly written.
Okay.
I just feel like he's, you know, he feels very Gary Stu to me. Like, he can do no wrong. I don't know. I don't really like Fury as a character.
Okay.
Like, I thought I was going to, but... I don't know. I don't really like him in the same way that I like Howard, in which he is a complete shithead and one of the worst people in the world. But, you know, everybody treats him like he's a shithead, one of the worst people in the world.
Okay.
You know, you're not supposed to root for him.
Right.
Or it feels like I'm supposed to be rooting for Fury. Like, that's why I thought he was an interesting character, but now it just feels like I'm supposed to be rooting for him. And I don't know why I'm supposed to be rooting for him. And then Thanos at the end there, I assumed that Loki let him. At first I was kind of confused, but I guess Loki just let him in. You know, I didn't really think about that. Like him just grabbing the gauntlet and saying, I mean, I'm still confused as to him saying, what do you say? I guess I'm just going to do it myself or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know what he means by that because he's either putting on the gauntlet to go do something by I'm going to do it myself, which either means that he's been waiting a long ass time since Ronan just died, and he's just waited all this time, and now, like months later, he's responding to nobody saying, guess I'll do it myself. Or Loki let him in, and he got the glove, and he's like, guess I'm going to do it myself, which doesn't make any sense if he didn't do it himself.
Let him into...
Asgard. To get the gauntlet, which is in Asgard in the treasure room. I said that.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you said it on camera or
not. Yeah, I said it at the very end of my reaction. That's what I was talking about, being confused about this, because like, wasn't that in the treasure room? What is he talking about doing this myself? Like, the only thing that makes sense if he's saying he's doing it himself is if Loki gave him the glove prior to, like, I don't know how that would work. Did Loki just have the glove and the gauntlet in his fucking pocket when Thor kicked him off the Rainbow Bridge? Or, you know,
could have hit in a Loki hole.
Maybe, yeah. But otherwise Thanos might just be popping into Asgard and just saying, fuck it, I'm just gonna come get the gauntlet myself. Because I'm not sure why he wouldn't just say, hey Loki, can I just come take the gauntlet? Like, why would Loki give a shit?
I mean, he's been Odin for like a year now.
Yeah, why would he give a shit? I don't know. Because I can't see Loki working with Thanos again. But I don't know how else he was going to get the gauntlet unless he's either attacking Asgard or, you know, what am I trying to say? Attacking Asgard or was led in by Loki. So, let's talk about the plot.
Oh boy, it's plot time.
Oh, now we're talking about the plot. The Infinity Stones. There's 6 in total. We learned that way back in the Avengers, but I've forgotten it and said, like, I think there's like 5. But, yeah, 6 stones in total. There's the Tesseract, which is portals or teleportation or something. There's the Aether, which I don't know what it is. There's the Orb, which is not the Orb, which is destruction. And then there's the Mind Stone, which is just vision. I don't know what it is when it's not vision. Like, it also can do a laser beam.
Mm-hmm.
So they all might just do laser beams. But yeah, I don't know what the Mind Stone does. Like, well, oh no, I'm an idiot. I said the Mind Stone is Vision, but it's just on Vision's head. The Mind Stone is Ultron.
Well,
like original Ultron.
I mean, technically, the Mind Stone is just the base AI,
which is Ultron. Like, that is okay.
Like, I would say that...
I want to differentiate real quick.
Sure.
Between, let's say, Robo, or how do we put it? Free Will Ultron versus, Tony... Let's say Tonytron, right? This was supposed to... The Mind Stone is Tonytron. Like, the AI that was in the Mind Stone.
Right.
That was supposed to be, no. That is not Tonytron. That is Free Will Ultron. Right? Because they kept calling that Ultron, and they were saying they wanted Jarvis's Matrix to beat it out. To be the real Ultron. Right? Isn't that what they're trying to do? Or no. They were just trying to initialize it into... So they weren't even trying to do Jarvis's. They were just straight up trying to initialize that into the thing. So that is just Ultron.
I mean...
The reason is just because it failed its initiation, that it became the Ultron that we know. But, like, that is Ultron.
Like...
Right?
As I understand it, and I could also be wrong... I thought they were just mapping out that AI. Like, I don't think they change. Like, I don't think they put. Like, I feel like the AI in the Mind Stone hasn't been touched. Like, they had a version of it that they used to make Ultron.
I agree. We have not seen whatever's in the Mind Stone. Yes.
Which I want to specify because, like, if you say what's in the Mind Stone is Ultron, then that would imply that's, Ultron.
When I'm saying Ultron, I'm meaning what Tony wanted Ultron to be. Correct? I mean, like, I don't even know how the fuck that works. I don't know what coincidence that is.
Like, I don't think it's anything, though. Like, the moment that...
But then why did he say, this is Ultron? Like, they both, him and Banner, both said, this is Ultron. Right?
Like, I feel like the AI they were talking about, though, like, it was a projection of the design inside of the Mind Stone.
Yes, yeah.
But I don't think they, like, wrote anything to the Mind Stone.
No. That's not what I'm saying. Right. I'm just saying, like, they copied the AI from the Mind Stone.
Right.
And that copy was the Ultron they wanted to create.
Okay. Yeah.
Which didn't have free will, right?
Right.
Because it was just meant to protect the Earth. It was not meant to have free will.
Yeah. Like, I'd say the main difference when you say Ultron is that, like, the Ultron project is, like, connected to the Iron Legion. It's the thing with the directive to protect the Earth.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, that's not what's in the Mind Stone.
It's not?
No.
Okay.
Like, the Mind Stone is, like, it doesn't have a purpose. It's just an AI. Yeah?
See, I was very confused. I thought it was just a big coincidence that it was exactly what the fuck they wanted it to do.
No.
I was like, I don't know what I assumed they just knew about it in the universe or some shit. But...
No, as I understand it, like, the reason they were excited about it is just because it's really advanced. Like, it's advanced enough to do what they want it to do. Which is just, tell it to protect the Earth and it'll be able to figure it out.
Okay. Huh. Okay.
But, like, it's not inherently designed to protect the Earth or anything. Yeah?
Right.
It's just a smart brain. Or a smart artificial brain.
That's not a brain.
No. It's an AI.
Yeah. It's not... Well, actually, that's very interesting too, because we talked about that. When I was saying that was not human, I was talking about that, which is also not Ultron.
Yeah.
Like, Ultron is not even that. It's that, but altered and then fucked up.
Yeah.
Whereas this is also not human. And, oh boy, this is hurting my brain. This is hurting my brain. Let's move on for a second.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna change that to A. I'm just gonna put that as AI. Screw it. But yeah, so those are the ones we know of so far. All the Infinity Stones seem like they can be used as a power source also, as a sort of like battery or something. We have the Tesseract, which powered Hydra weapons.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Aether, which powered the Dark Elves' bodies and the ship.
Yeah.
And then we have the Mind Stone, which powered the Scepter.
Mm-hmm.
And Orb, we don't have anything on yet, but assumingly it can also power something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to call putting it in the hammer powering the hammer. So, I don't know about that.
Fair.
But yeah, so they all seem to be able to use power source. They also all seem to just do beams of destructo energy. So I'm not sure what makes the orb special. If they all can also be a weapon, I don't know what makes the orb that isn't the orb special. We also got Dr. Helen Cho, the Korean doctor that operated on Hawkeye and saved his life.
Of course.
I immediately, I as soon as that happened, I thought of the Chinese doctors. I really thought, like, are we just throwing them in? Like, just Chinese doctors are a real character now. But no, they're Korean doctors. They're decidedly not Chinese.
Now, how would you feel about a cut of Age of Ultron, where the Chinese doctors come in after Helen's been kidnapped?
Oh no!
And Cap's lost an arm or something, and the Chinese doctors come in and explain, "We've remade his arm. It's as good as new. You won't notice the difference. We're better than Dr. Helen Cho." Now we leave.
I can see it. I can see all of Dr. Helen Cho being replaced by completely different. Like, just every time she's on screen, they just cut to a different Chinese actor for the Chinese release.
Oh no!
We operate on Hawkeye. He's Chinese now too.
His wife would be like,
you can never tell the difference.
She would have a problem with that.
You can't tell the difference.
You're Chinese now, and then Hawkeye says, "Good as new" in Mandarin. You can't tell the difference.
You can't feel the difference. So, when they're back at Avengers HQ, which it seems to just be also Stark Industries, I guess. Like, just one and the same at this point. Which, fine, better than S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, also, that's my big point of S.H.I.E.L.D., by the way. The whole fucking, like, well, I'll get to it. I'll get to it in a second. It's down here.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Avengers HQ. The Rebels, as we're calling it. Getting to see all the Avengers mingling with each other, mingling with the guys who weren't a part of the Avengers yet, mingling with old war vets and politicians and richy rich people, because that's just, the life they live now at this point.
Yeah.
Just living it with the muckety mucks. Tony and Thor's whole dick measuring contest with their girlfriends. Which I do appreciate that they're not just two random ass people. Like, there's portrayed a lot with, like, oh, they're the super important person, but then their significant other is like a nobody. But then most of the time, you really don't have anything in common then.
Right.
Like, they are superheroes, and the big trope there is just having the normal ass, secret identity wife or girlfriend or whatever. But, like, I am glad it's like, yeah, running the company, got a Nobel Peace Prize. Like, Jane is one of the most geniuses of the world and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I really appreciate that. They're not just, random ass people. Yeah, so then the whole lifting of the hammer scene, everybody going around trying to do it, that was hilarious. And
such a good scene.
Yeah, really, like, exemplifies all the best parts about all of their characters and everything. And fucking, I called it. Cap is going to be able to pick up that hammer at some point. I feel like it's going to be a big character arc of him picking up that hammer. It budged a little bit. We're getting there. But what the hell does worthy mean? We're going to have to get to that when we get to Thor.
Of course.
So, also, yeah, them all hanging out there trying to pick up that hammer, like, actually really sold me on the fact they've been hanging out for a year. Like, they feel like buddies now. They don't just feel like they're just doing this as a job or whatever.
Right.
And Rhodey fits right in. Rhodey's just... I'm so happy that he is... like, I was not expecting them to be Avengers, Rhodey and Falcon. So, very happy about that. Especially with Rhodey. He fits in perfectly. And yeah, Banner doing like the fake out lift attempt, going like, "Oh, it's so strong, but I can't lift it. Oh no, sorry guys, I can't lift it." And then the whole fight breaking out, and them all having to fight without any of their weapons, without any of their gear or anything. Thor had his hammer, so he was pretty fine throughout the whole fight. He didn't really struggle at all, but everybody else. And to be fair, Thor also didn't have the armor. To be fair. But yeah, Tony was just going around punching robots, ripping them apart with his bare hands. Tony stabbing them with a fucking kebab stick. And Rhodey, Hill, and Natasha were just shooting them with pistols, which I gotta say, if the Iron Legion can be taken down with pistols, Tony, what the fuck are you building? Like, I'm pretty sure I could build a robot that wouldn't be taken down by a pistol.
I mean, those are the crowd control models. It's fine.
They're really bad. Throughout the whole movie, they keep being shot at with pistols and being taken down. Like, even during the fight with Sokovia. It's like, what are you doing? How bad are these robots? How is one pistol bullet getting through there? And it takes the whole thing down? How bad are these robotics? Because the Iron Man suit, you can take 90% of it apart and it can still function perfectly. The arm can be detached and you could fire rockets from it, I'm pretty sure. And then yeah, everybody hold their own. Barton threw Cap a shield. Did that much. We have Ulysses Claw.
Oh yeah,
the main villain of the whole movie.
Can't believe you didn't put him in the list of 15 villains.
He is the South African black market arms dealer. Vibranium comes from Wakanda. That's the entirety of my notes for him. My thought process during that scene. The vibranium comes from Wakanda. My brain, Wakanda, isn't that a Black Panther thing? Then they bring up that it's like in South Africa. I'm like, oh, I guess not. I guess it's just a real place. Same with Sokovia. Didn't realize it wasn't a real place. So yeah, I didn't even mention anything about the Wakanda thing. I recognize the name as being the place where Black Panther takes place. But yeah. Did not know it was just going to be in South Africa. Then we got, lastly, the Battle of Sokovia. And by lastly, I mean lastly before I get into all the characters.
Of course.
But yeah, I absolutely adore that this whole movie and fight was, I guess, I'm not, I mean, it really was the whole movie, being about saving people rather than about, like, a big war, a big fight or anything like that. Ultimately that is what it's always going to be about, even the Battle of New York. But it was way more fighting than it was, they weren't really saving that many people. Cap was going to, it was more just like, go that way.
Right.
Whereas it was primarily focused on the saving rather than the fighting.
Yeah.
Which was really cool to see, and I'm surprised about that. Like, I would have expected them to really have to, hit that quota, which, to be fair, they definitely did, but, like, I would have expected way more fighting for the big, final battle, when really it was mostly just a lot of, like, oh, shoot, hey, now let me save some people. Oh, no, shoot, all right. It was primarily saving.
Okay.
And yeah, I agree with what Petro said. This is what S.H.I.E.L.D. should be. Yeah, this ain't so bad. This ain't so bad when they're just making lifeboats, saving a bunch of people, when they're not Project Insighting it up, when they're not Tesseracting it up, when they're not still committing crimes against humanity, when they're not having Cap go, oh, Strucker, you bad man doing illegal human experimentation. Oh, Fury, I'm so glad to meet you, you bad man who's done illegal experimentation. And probably still is. I don't know for certain if the illegal human experimentation is going on. I assume that Hydra actually stopped most of that when when they took them out of the fridge in the sandbox. Now, to be fair, being a part of Hydra and brainwashed, not better, but, you know, what I'm saying is I assume that's not still going on because the fridge and sandbox has been raided.
Okay.
That said, there's still plenty of other indexed individuals who are not at the fridge or the sandbox who are still having crimes against humanity done to them. So, you know, if we could fix that, then S.H.I.E.L.D., once we fix the index, S.H.I.E.L.D. can start being better again. Also, Fury's not in charge because he cannot be trusted. We've been shown 1,000 times he cannot be trusted. But, yeah, just awful. So, now, let's talk about the Avengers.
Oh boy, it's why we're here.
It's why we're here. You've been waiting for it the whole time, and now we're here. It's been a little bit over an hour, and now we're getting to the Avengers.
Oh boy.
Tony Stark. Start there. No, we're starting on Steve Rogers. Sorry.
Okay.
Starting Steve Rogers, Captain America, leader of the team. So, his nightmare, given to him by Wanda. This one I wasn't so sure about. That all the lives that he hasn't been able to save, you know, that were dancing there throughout the war, all the lives he wasn't able to save. The whole line of, the war is over, imagine it. And then all those people disappear because they died at war. If, you know, the war is never really over thing, so the line of, the war is over, imagine it, but it's never really over. You know, the nightmare he's been trying to pretend that the war is over. Like, they've been talking about that too. You don't have any dark side, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, he's just been trying to pretend the war is over. And yeah, I guess that would be my why, you know? I guess that is my why. But yeah, I'm not sure on that one. That's the one I'm the most loose on.
Okay.
I don't know if I got that one correct. I'm not sure I fully understood what they were trying to do with his scene. What's your take on it?
I'd say you have it basically right. It's like, he is the perfect soldier, but no one else is. So no matter what, if he goes to war, or if he's just in a fight, there's always going to be people around him who aren't as strong as him, not as tough as him. If he tries to save every single civilian, like, people are going to die. People definitely die in Sokovia.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, like, and I don't think there's much there that's, like, that you can really dig into because he's so pure.
Yeah.
Like, that's his demon, and it's not that bad of a demon, but it's still gonna haunt him, because there's nothing he can really do to stop it.
Yeah. And yeah, so, his stance on Ultron, I really, I like it in general, not really about Ultron, but I like it in general. Every time people try to end a war before it starts, innocent people die. Every time. I mean, very obviously coming off of, Winter Soldier and Project Insight and all that shit, but yeah, like, it's, I mean, there's nothing more I can add on to it.
Yeah.
Duh, obviously. It doesn't, it doesn't ring as true for Ultron right now because, Ultron as the thing Tony was trying to do because of just the nature of it.
Right.
But yeah, I get what he's saying in general, and I picked out some choice lines from Tony in Iron Man 1, because that like you could see that really did hit Tony very hard. And yeah, Tony saying in Iron Man 1, they say the best weapon is one you never have to fire. I prefer the one you only have to fire once. Also, find an excuse to let one of these off the chain, and I can personally guarantee you the bad guys won't even want to come out of their caves. Yeah. Every time you try to end a war before it starts, innocent people die. Every time. But, yeah. And I mean, just in general with Ultron anyway, it was also just, like, seemingly, it was just supposed to stay in space anyway, so it would never really interfere with Earth in general. But, like, I get the whole point of people thinking it was going to, like, turn evil or something.
Right. Like, even if it was, like, the most reactive you could get is something bad happens, it sends some Iron Legion people just to, you know, make sure no one gets into a fire or whatever.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I think Ultron is a bad idea just because, like, if they decided to attack us, it wouldn't be that bad. Just shoot them with some pistols. If aliens try to come in, they're gonna fucking wreck the Iron Legion and kill us.
Right.
So Ultron, bad idea, because it's fucking trash machinery. But bad idea philosophically, no. Bad idea mechanically, yes.
Okay.
Also, yeah, wouldn't help against portaling. So, you know, if we have this giant, like, when he was describing it as a shield around Earth, for a while in the movie, I did think he meant just a giant shield over Earth.
Oh, like
was
a
Ultron.
dome?
Yeah, that's really what I thought he meant. It took me a while to realize he just meant, you know, a bunch of so many soldiers that it would basically be a wall around Earth. But then they're just going to portal in.
Yeah, there's a couple of people who have tried to defend the idea of Project Insights. And I think that the movies have done a good job of showing that, first of all, you know, Battle of New York, aliens, a weapon that locks on like DNA is not going to help against aliens.
Yeah.
Then, second Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, robots.
Yeah.
3 helicarriers that lock in on DNA are not going to help against robots.
I mean, none of Project Insight would have helped in any way anyway.
Yeah.
So many innocent people would have died. But I'm not surprised if people try and defend Fury. I am in love with Cap just having to fucking run everywhere on foot and always being out of breath. Like, he has a very Daredevil aesthetic of just every move he makes. Like, once the fight starts, I would say 10 minutes into the fight, every move he makes, it feels like he is at peak exhaustion. Like, we always cut from, like, Hawkeye taking down, like, 10 people, Thor just smashing an army of them, and we cut to Cap, and he's just, like, really struggling to kill one of them. And he's just like, you guys are just... But at the same time, he, like, always keeps them busy. Like, the big guy.
Right.
He's always keeping the big guy busy. He can't do a lot of damage, but he can certainly, you know, he's a great strategist, and he's great at keeping the aggro on him.
Right. It's
and he's basically like a better Black Widow. Like, he can dodge pretty much anything, and the shield, you know, he's golden on.
Yeah.
So they don't really have to worry about him that much. And he's just super strong in general. So, like, if he takes hits, it's not as bad, and he can dodge so much that it's like,
right.
He's the best person to be just keeping all the aggro. Yeah, so new gear that he got a magnetic shield. That is dope. I don't think we've seen that before.
I don't think so.
But yeah, that is fantastic. I can't believe he hasn't got that till now. Seems like one of the simplest things to do.
Yeah, because I believe in Winter Soldier, like, whenever he did the cool shield moves, he always did have to, like,
had to go
grab
run and
the
grab
shields.
it,
Yeah.
Which he did also this time. I guess
mean,
the magnet only works to a certain, you know, he can't like Thor's hammer it.
Yeah.
Or if he's more than like 10 feet away, it's not going to work.
And plus, he's probably just used to grabbing it.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a limited charge on it, then he doesn't have to use it all up.
Is it like a charge thing that he does, maybe?
I actually don't know. I just kind of said that.
Huh. Because, yeah, it looked like he just, like, put his arm up in it, and it went to him. But, like, yeah, because there was that whole part at the end of the movie where he didn't have a shield and he couldn't grab it because it fell. So I guess it doesn't help that much, I guess, honestly. He has to be right next to the shield for it to work anyway.
I mean, it just saves him the trouble of having to go get it.
Yeah, it saves him the trouble of having to, like, put it on the back of his arm. Really all it does. Okay, so let's move on to Thor. So, his nightmare, that he'll be a bad king, I believe is what it was. And why? I think it's just because he's been having doubts about being worthy. Way back from Thor 2, we've seen that with, you know, him saying, I don't want to be king.
Yeah.
I'm not worthy of being king. And now with, you know, his face dropping and his heart, like, you know, you could see his heart racing when Cap picked up that hammer and, like, moved a little bit. He's like,
oh boy.
But it's a funny moment, but it's also, like, he is thinking, you know, what I brought up for a long time. Thor is one of the only ones who doesn't have something that makes him special. Everybody else has something that makes them special aside, again, I would say that Hawkeye still doesn't have anything that makes him special.
Okay.
But he's certainly, like, worthy of being an Avenger, but he doesn't have anything like special. Like Romanoff had her espionage. I'm taking that away from her. I'm taking it away. She don't get it anymore. She's not a great. Did I say Esper?
No, you said espionage.
Okay, I did.
But okay, you can take away her psychic powers too.
I'm taking away her psychic powers and I'm taking away her espionage skills because she's so bad at it. But yeah, he has had nothing special about him. He has his armor, he has his hammer, and he has being as Guardian, but that's not something unique about him.
Right.
He's just like, he is probably the strongest Asgardian, but I would argue that's not because of him. It's just because he's fucking ripped. He is even on a, non-magical level, of course he's the strongest Asgardian. Look at him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't have anything uniquely unique about him. But that might have changed this movie.
Oh.
But yeah, I do think that's also been my favorite aspect of him, so I'm glad we are tackling it. But where are my notes? I don't know why I don't have it there, but where the fuck did I have? I have it somewhere in here. Okay. I'm just gonna send it anyway. I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. But he, in his second vision, had the lightning coming off of his own body, and in the vision in the nightmare, I don't want to say vision.
Sure.
In the nightmare, he had the lightning coming off of him and killing people. So that might be what makes him special. He can have the electricity coming off of him, whatever the hell it is. I thought it was magical electricity or lightning or whatever, but we did have a long talk about that. It's just normal electricity. Nothing special about it. But so it's not like he has some like special lightning that makes him unique, but he would at least have electrical powers coming from him. Not good. It's pretty shit too. It's not like he can do anything with it. It seems it just seems to come off him, but it's something unique at least. I mean, maybe
kills people with that. It's pretty.
I mean, maybe we don't know. He doesn't seem to be controlling it. It just seemed to happen that way.
True. I mean, it is a nightmare.
So in the nightmare, we see Heimdall being blind. He says, "My eyes see everything," but that's what they do now.
Right.
So why would that be special, both of a thing to say now or in the past?
I mean, I think the shocking thing is, he said when he looks blind.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I was looking at you like you were going to give me an answer. But also, he was choking Thor, saying, "You're a destroyer, Odinson." Not sure what that means. There was someone in a black cloak that was there. Maybe Thanos' best friend coming back from the dead. He has lightning blowing up people. He saw a constellation of the Infinity Gauntlet doing a fist bump, and the 4 stones on it. What's interesting is that he sees the 4 stones, Wait a second. He, at the end of the movie, I think, actually did say 4 stones have been popping up lately.
Yeah.
So how the fuck would he know about that? That's interesting. Because I was gonna say that the 4 stones that popped up were not the 4 stones that he knew about, and it was not like he doesn't know about all 6. He does know about all 6 of the Infinity Stones. So I didn't know why it was all those 4, but I guess he does know about the orb. I'm not sure why, or like that the orb and all that happened recently. Right. But I'm not sure how. Because we do know that Asgard has an idea that their stuff exists beyond the 9 realms. They know of the Kree and everything.
Yeah, they met the Collector.
Yeah, they went to go to the Collector and everything like that. But they never talk about it as being a part of the universe. Like, they still don't. Even now that we know the universe is bigger than the 9 realms, they still only refer to the universe as the 9 realms. So I don't I guess there's nothing I have to say about that. I just don't fucking get it. I just don't understand the Nine Realms. Like, I got it originally as that's just where they're connected to. Like, they just have bridges to the Nine Realms.
Right.
But I don't know why the fuck they act like the Nine Realms is the only part of the universe when they've been outside of there.
I mean, what makes you think that they only consider the Nine Realms to be like the whole universe?
I don't think that they only consider the Nine Realms to be the whole universe. I'm just saying the way they talk about it is the Nine Realms is the only universe. Like, we know that they don't consider that. Like, we know that they know the other universe is out there and they interact with the other universe.
Right.
But whenever they're talking to anybody on Earth or people on Asgard, like, even when they're not even talking to anybody on Earth, they still just talk about it as the Nine Realms.
Right.
And I don't get why.
I mean, I think it's just because that's, where they can go the most, the easiest. Like, they have the most, like, what's the term? Like, the most history with the Nine Realms.
Right.
So if they say something like, I've never, like, nothing like this exists in all the Nine Realms.
No. I mean, like, wanting to protect the Nine Realms, or, like, that's, I can't think of another context for it. Like, where it's really, like, that one's what's really weird to me. I'm I could be wrong, but I almost distinctly remember him saying that he was going to protect the Nine Realms. Yeah. And I don't know why the fuck he wants to protect the Nine Realms and not just, like, why those? A lot of them are fucking evil.
I mean, I can get it, like...
Why does he want to protect the Dark Elves?
I mean, Thor's not the universe police.
Why is it the Nine Realms police?
Because they're connected to the Nine Realms. You protect what you got.
They're not connected to Earth, and he still does.
Earth is one of the Nine Realms.
I guess, but they're not connected. He can't easily go to them, which is what your explanation is.
I mean, it's more easy than anywhere else.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
They have the Tesseract.
No, they can use the Bifrost. I mean...
Right, they can't... Wait, why can't they...
I mean, the Bifrost's been destroyed.
Right, how did Thor get to Earth? And how did they get back up to fucking Asgard?
Did they fix it? They may have fixed it.
I guess they fixed it.
I guess
they had to. Because Sif has also been doing it.
Yeah. But, like, all the problems they had were between, Thor 1 and the Avengers when they broke the Bifrost.
Right. But yeah, I guess I just don't know why they continue to talk about the universe as only being the Nine Realms when they know there's more out there.
I think that's just, that's just the scope which they see. Like, I could see, someone on Earth saying, I will protect the Earth, even knowing that there are other alien races out there.
Yeah, but it would be more weird to say, like, I'm going to protect just our solar system.
See, I can see that.
I guess it just feels weird. Like, why? Like, see, when we're saying that, I don't...
Like, since you just said the solar system, if I think of the Nine Realms as being basically a solar system, just, not physically in the same place, just Bifrost connected, like, it makes sense to me.
Maybe.
Like, this is what we can protect, so I pledge to protect the Nine Realms, including the Dark Elves.
Maybe. I don't know. It's still fucking weird. Okay, so what else happened in his vision? So he sees Vision in his vision. He sees some bitch in gold.
Oh, yeah.
Sees 3 half-naked dudes awkwardly standing in the corner with a red Solo cup, complaining that their feet hurt and the music is too loud.
So, I can give you some context on this.
Okay.
Because this is a reference to the famous Joss Whedon TV series Angel, a spin-off of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Then don't tell me.
Okay.
I don't know how that could possibly
I'll also
be
tell you, it's not plot-related.
Okay.
It's just a reference.
Okay. Okay.
Don't worry. Eventually, you'll get around to it, and then you'll think, oh yeah, I remember those 3 dudes from Age of Ultron. It's a good reference.
So, then he goes into the ayahuasca water.
Oh, yeah.
I was so lost in what was happening for a while there. Eric says, in every realm, there is a reflection. Which, again, another example of what the fuck are they talking about? Why? Why are the realms so specific? I don't get it. Why is it that so much stuff only happens in the realms and happens nowhere else? I don't get it. I don't get it. What's the realms?
You ever see a reflection on the Chitauri planets.
And I don't even know what that means. In every realm, there's a reflection of what? Of what?
In every realm, there's a reflection.
He doesn't add anything to that. That's just end of sentence. And he also says something about, like, Thor's like, well, the water spirits accept me or something. What?
Mm-hmm.
Why does Earth have water spirits?
Mm-hmm. Water spirits.
So, Thor says that he saw a whirlpool that sucks in all hope of life, and at its center is the Mind Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
No prediction.
No?
No, I can't.
You got
I no one that can predict something. None of this ayahuasca water. I have no predictions.
I will also say...
I'm very worried. Well, okay,
yeah.
go ahead first.
Oh, just that in a production thing, Joss Whedon had a few things he really wanted to do. He wanted to do this. He wanted the big Hawkeye, scene on the farm where they're just, just the entire farm thing in general.
Okay.
The production, the higher-ups told him, you can either make the Thor scene, 2 minutes longer, or you can do the entire farm thing. And he said, we'll do the farm thing.
Okay.
But you should know, in Joss Whedon's true version of this movie, you would have been, specifically in the Vision, what is it called again? The
Nightmare?
Water of Sights?
The Water of Sight, yes.
Yeah, the Water of Sight. We would have been there for 2 minutes longer.
Jesus Christ! I don't know. Nothing happened there. We got no information there. I don't. All I wrote down is, a world. Well, that doesn't even happen there.
No, he explained it later. That was him talking about it later, right?
And what was the point of even doing that then? I guess that was the point. I get, because I can understand there's a lot cut out, because I don't understand any of the ayahuasca bullshit. Thor comes out of it, he sees, I guess, we don't see anything that he sees in there. Because nothing that he saw in there made sense as to why he would want to have anything to do with Vision. Vision had nothing to do with it.
Was that when he saw, a flash of Vision's eye, or
No,
was that the first time?
that was the first time.
Right.
So, I don't know what the water was. Is there an extended scene?
No.
Jesus. Okay. Do we know what he wanted? God damn it.
We see the Infinity Stones. We see them breaking out of the stuff. So everyone knows that,
That came in the second time.
Yeah.
I guess I just wrote it up with my Infinity Stone stuff. That's why.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the second time where we get, the whole thing that ends with the glove.
Ah, okay. No, the glove was the first time.
Oh, love is the first time.
Yeah.
Wait, was...
Because I have it here on the first time notes.
Okay.
So, being worthy, what does it mean? He originally became worthy when he planned to sacrifice his life to save a planet of people he had just met, which is insinuating that Cap would not do that. But Vision would. Because they talk about... They talk about the Vision can pick it up because he's a robot and that he's an AI. But I don't know if that's true. I think he actually is worthy of picking it up because I believe that he would probably put down his life to save a planet of people he's never met.
I mean, theoretically, he tried to in this movie.
Did he? At what point?
I mean, in the sense that he was in the final battle. Protecting a planet full of people.
He's made of vibranium. If the whole thing blew up, he'd be fine. He didn't risk his life at all.
Okay, fair.
He had no point in this movie was in any danger. But yeah, Thor and Vision had a talk while everybody else was getting ready that we did not hear. And I feel like that was probably about, being worthy, him picking up the hammer and stuff. Wanda might have heard. I don't know how her abilities work. She might be able to eavesdrop using that or something. But yeah, talk that happened. I don't know what else being worthy would be besides sacrificing your life for a planet of people you never met. I think that's just the working definition we have of worthy right now.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's interesting that Cap wouldn't do that. Like that he wants to protect humans. You know, he doesn't want to protect aliens. I mean, you know, what does it say about Thor and him? Interesting. What does that say about him and the twins? Because the twins are alien enhanced, so.
Yeah.
But either way, that might be a thing we're getting into with Cap. Yeah, Jane outpacing Selvig on her research on the conversions, which is crazy. I don't even know how that's possible, but I guess she's just that big of a brain person. But yeah, Selvig still going to be a big player, and of course, by big players, I'm including people with powers.
Of course.
But yeah, he's going to keep appearing, which I'm glad. And the fact that he's at the Avengers facility now is cool. Thor, surprisingly, being like having some of the strongest comedy in this movie. My favorite moment was the stepping on the Legos and just swiping it under the chair, and he just looks at Cap with like, just do not say anything to anybody about this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Tony Stark. Whew, still got so much more to go. So, his nightmare was that pretty obviously all the Avengers are dead except for him, and because of him. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty spelled out for you. Yeah. Why? Because he's been stressing out over the alien invasions and everything since Avengers. He still has. He's been in a perpetual panic state just since then.
Yeah.
Which, understandably, because he's been the only one of them that's been to another world and come back. Aside from Thor, who doesn't count because he's fucking alien.
I mean, Thor's fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, Thor's not going to be weirded out by it. But yeah, understandably, he's going to be fucking terrified that something like that's going to happen again. And so he's going to do... It is interesting, though, that they portaled in and he's immediately like, I'm going to put on a giant shield. Like, that's going to fucking do anything.
Right.
But yeah, it's understandable why he is stressing out so much and wanting to do something like this and having visions like that, thinking he's going to kill them all and everything. And a lot of it is also because, you know, in general, the more tech he makes, the more possible it is to just fuck with shit and cause a Chitauri invasion and stuff.
Right.
Like, he knows that in some way he's responsible for it, just in nature. I mean, not responsible for it, but like, and, you know, he puts out tech in the world and tech's going to be used in some way.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's the classic Iron Man case. You make something, it doesn't matter how you make it, it's going to be used a certain way. But yeah, everyone else is just pretty chill with the fact that aliens invaded.
Yeah.
Everybody on Earth is just pretty chill with it. They talk about it from time to time, but really, nobody's really doing a goddamn thing about it. Nobody's doing anything about it. Which is crazy, because aliens invaded twice.
Yeah.
Do something about it. Like, there's many things you can do. Like, I get it that, like, you know, we can have this talk of, like, the government's not fucking doing anything because they're just coming after S.H.I.E.L.D. this entire time.
Right.
Or, like, you know, we can't do a lot of it because Hydra's a huge problem now while we're trying to deal with the fact that we got an alien invasion. It's like, we haven't had the time. I get it, I guess. We haven't had the time. But regular people are just kind of fine with the fact that an alien invasion happened.
What are normal people gonna do?
You know, I don't know. I thought there'd be a plot point around it or something. Like, it's just been kind of not really that important. People bring it up when it's like, crazy shit happened. Oh, yeah, well, the aliens invaded. But no one's ever like, hey, is anybody, you know, still fucking terrified about the fact that aliens invaded?
Yeah.
You know, I wish there was more panic from people from that.
I mean, a lot of bad stuff's happening.
Yeah, not on that level.
You got the terrorism, you got the Hydra.
Terrorism and Hydra's nowhere near aliens twice. One of which was from before time. I mean, most people probably don't know that. I assume they didn't go on the news and were like, by the way, that aliens that attacked Norway, was it? Or something? Yeah, they were before time existed.
Yeah, it's probably just the one in most people's minds. It's probably just Battle of New York.
I feel like if aliens invaded twice, I wouldn't be like, oh, but the second one was so overshadowed by the first.
I mean, the Twin Towers got bombed twice. Like before 9/11, we had the big truck that went into the base.
Yeah, and nobody was like, well, I didn't remember the second one because of the truck.
I mean, no one talks about the first one because of the second one.
What? That's two very different things. Those are two very different things. They were of much different scale.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the Battle of New York's a pretty big scale.
I agree, but I mean, ultimately, two are both bombing. It's aliens! It's aliens! It's aliens! It's aliens! I feel like, why do I have to, in all of my discussions for anything MCU, I have to scream, it's aliens! Of course you can't have the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. have alien blood in him. It's aliens! Why am I crazy for saying that? It's aliens!
Sure, Tony believes in you.
Tony believes in me.
Tony's on your side.
Aliens are bad. I mean, it's really the thing that aliens are unpredictable.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Like, you can tackle, problems that are happening on Earth. You can tackle human problems.
Yeah.
With the aliens, it's a much bigger scale thing. Like, it's difficult for individual people to do anything about it.
I feel like we should be looking into, we should really be having a connection with Asgard. First of all, how has that not happened? It's been like 6 years. What are we doing? Thor is an Avenger. Set up a trade route.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything, but if Thor and Loki were switched, like if Thor was the bad guy, if Loki was the good guy, I think Earth and Asgard would probably have, trade and stuff. They'd be
Almost
talking.
Certainly.
I think it's because it's Thor that no one's brought up like, hey, can we talk to Odin? Can we get a thing
if
going?
it's a thing of like, sure, they don't want Earth people up on Asgard because Earth people are pigs. I get it. We're goats, we're garbage, and they hate our guts. I get it. I mean, well, no, I do. I was gonna say I don't get it. No, I do get it. But they could just come down here, have a chat, have a whole like, hey, can you tell us some crazy shit about the universe? Can we get some information? Thor sacrificed his life for a planet of people he's never met, and then it was like, you guys can just fuck with this box that's an Infinity Stone for a while, and I'll just tell you nothing about it. It's wild how little connection there is between Asgard and Earth.
Yeah, agreed.
It's so wild. I never really thought about it till now. Oh, I can't believe that. I'm really... The more the MCU goes on, the more I'm just like, boy, the villains have it right. Loki knows what's going on. Cal knows what's up. They all know what's going on. They are all in the right here.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so Tony, again, he is being the most logical here when it comes to like his plan for aliens during that. Him and Banner are completely logical. They did nothing wrong. Okay. But you can't really explain that to someone like, Cap, who has no idea what any of this tech is.
Right.
The Thor, who has no idea what any of his tech is. Both of them, they have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. So you're not going to explain this to them. Like, Asgard, probably, that's what the Destroyer is, basically. Yeah. Asgard has this, but they just don't have it on these terms, so it's not something that Tony can explain to him. He's never seen the Destroyer.
Right.
So... But I'm just realizing this is what the Destroyer is, except they would just put it in space and it'd be a lot weaker.
Yeah, they just needed one.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about Iron Legion. But I see what you're saying. If they just had one Iron Legion, don't worry, we're gonna stop Thanos with one Iron Legion fly. But yeah, I do think that, when push comes to shove, Tony would have done the most logical thing that would have gotten them all killed. Like, I don't think that's Ultron, but I do think that in general, he would have,
some sort of scenario would have come up and he would have saved his own ass as opposed to, helping them or saving their ass or something. And I think, he knew he was going to do that. It wasn't a fear of whether he would. He was just like, I am going to do that if that happens. Like, that's just, it's the most logical thing. But I don't think he would now. I think now he would do the illogical thing. I think now he would, stay behind and help. Right. He has that, the shonen spirit now. Friendship is magic. When Cap's saying that, they'll all die together, but he knows that would absolutely not be true. Like, and that's not a, like, oh, I'm stronger than all of you. He just knows that, like, no, I'm not gonna die with you guys. Like, I mean, and this is, again, before the end of this movie, right. I think. He was just, like, in his mind, like, there's no way I'm dying with you guys. I will be the last one to die. Just because I'm not gonna stick around. Well, everybody else here is more altruistic than I am.
Right.
So, first he gave up the arms dealing, and now he's given up the concept of weighing lives. Which, in real life is unavoidable, but in something like this, you want to shoot for the ideal.
Right.
In real life, you gotta weigh lives, but we're shooting for the shonen ideals here in the MCU, and I love that. So, we got plenty of new gear for Tony. First off, we got the Iron Legion, which is just garbage. We've talked about that. We don't need to talk about it anymore. I do want to say that just, like, of course nobody was listening to it. Of course, everybody was just throwing rocks at it and saying, fuck you, Robot Man. Like, look at Marty the Robot in grocery stores. And now try and do that to, protesters and people in a country where war's going on. Like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. But yeah. The Jarvis satellite. Just when the fuck did he have time to build a whole satellite? Tony! Like, supposedly they've been doing all this for like a year, this raid. Meanwhile, Tony is still building all this crap.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. But yeah, it just fires out all his suits anywhere in the world or he needs it. So, yeah. I mean, assumingly, maybe he would have to have multiple satellites then, because they couldn't just fire out a suit anywhere in the world.
I mean, like, presumably he could also, like, just summon them from his house.
Right.
And, like, between the satellite and his house, he should be more or less covered.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. But yeah, so it just fires out everything whenever he needs it. It's got the AI and comms for, like, everybody, which is great. Yeah, so they said that he started out as a natural language UI, so I'm guessing that he's just named after Jarvis and is not, an AI based off of Jarvis's personality, or, Jarvis died in some tragic way and he turned him into an AI in some way. Like, it does seem like because he didn't start out as an AI, it couldn't have been based on his personality.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that's the implication at all.
Yeah, so it's just named after Jarvis.
Yeah.
So and then we have Veronica, which is the what you said, the Hulkbuster?
Yeah.
For the suit, and then the anti-Hulk containment unit. Was there any like name for that?
Not really.
Okay. But yeah, really just cool seeing those in action. The anti-Hulk containment unit could definitely still work. He just needs to create a bottom for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could definitely still work. And I hope we continue to use it if that happens again. But hopefully that shouldn't happen again now that Scarlet Witch is on our side. It holds extra pieces for the Hulks, like just Veronica itself, not even the satellite, but Veronica holds the Hulkbuster, the Hulk suit. It holds the extra pieces for the Hulk suit. Yeah. The Hulkbuster itself easily destroys itself for repair, which is incredibly impressive in and of itself that it can just destroy itself so easily. And I'm not even talking about like grabbing a piece and destroying it, but it like self-destroys. Like,
yeah.
Like, his arm, he did nothing to it. He was just holding his arm like this, and the arm was just going and just dismembering itself.
Right.
To, like, free itself from the pole. Which is awesome. Like, that the suit has a self-destruct mode that is not a complete self-destruct. Like, he can self-destruct any part of the suit. And not, like, the whole arm, but, like, individual pieces. He was just, like, you know,
Right.
break that, as in, like, making the pieces come undone.
Yeah, it's modular.
Yeah, I don't know how that fucking happens. I mean, just all of the Iron Man stuff is so malleable.
Right.
Like, you can break it, bend it, smash it, destroy it, and then just plug in another one, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It is near upon impossible to really do lasting damage to the Iron Man suit, like, in a fight.
Right.
If you're not ripping off an entire piece of it, you're doing no damage to it.
Right.
Like, towards the end there, when he was, like, in the Hulkbuster suit, and almost all of it was, like, crushed, ripped, he had wires everything was exposed, and Jarvis couldn't talk, all the systems were down, and he could still do flight and missiles, and like, all this other crap. It's just like, what does he even need to do this? It's unbeatable. He's got a new operating system now, because Jarvis is gone.
Yeah.
We have Friday. There was also on the table, it looked like Tadashi and Iyasta or something?
Okay.
I don't know. Other, like, little chips he had.
Yeah.
But yeah, Friday he's got some woman now.
Mm-hmm.
We found out that he's the one who designs everything for the Avengers, apparently. Like, not, like, even all the stuff for Stark Technologies, he designs himself.
Yeah.
No designers. He's the sole designer for Stark Technologies. That is insane, and also insanely good style choice. Like, or I mean, just like design sense in general.
Right.
Like, he's got insane design sense. Crazy. He should be an artist instead of a designer.
I mean, that's kind of what a designer is.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, also he'd be making way less money, and wouldn't be a superhero. Okay. Next up, we got Bruce Banner, his nightmare. I didn't write anything down because I meant to do a, like, what is his... Like, his nightmare, I assume, is basically just what was happening also. Like, what he was doing was probably just also happening in his mind.
Right.
And yeah, why? I mean, because he's the Hulk? Like, do I need to... Why? Because he's the Hulk. I don't have to say anything else about that. But yeah, so, the Hulk control. Let's talk about the Hulk control, because the nightmare, I mean, like, there's nothing I have to say about it.
Right.
It's the Hulk's thing. But yeah, so, Banner can control the Hulk, and he can become the Hulk at will, and he can control the Hulk, but he can't untransform.
Okay.
He can't, like, he can't un-Hulk. I don't know what a good word for that is.
Well,
De-Hulk, un-Hulk.
well, if he hulks out, then he should banner in.
Sure. To banner in. Okay. He is able to Hulk out, he is able to control the Hulk, but he is not able to banner in.
Now, what do you mean by control the Hulk?
I mean control the Hulk in the way that a jockey controls a horse. You would not say that the jockey is the horse,
Right.
but the jockey is definitely controlling the horse.
Okay.
The horse may try and do something, but the jockey has control of the horse.
Okay.
In the same way that you can have control of a wild animal.
All right.
He has control of it. The Hulk never does anything that he doesn't want it to do. The Hulk wants to do other stuff. Like, we see Hulk once smash Romanoff, but he controls it so Hulk no smash Romanoff. Like, and by one smasher, I don't mean like, whoa, and he goes to smash her, but just like, we can see him going like, he's grunting. What, like, I think the Hulk grunting is, you know, the Hulk fighting back against, Joe Fixit, or Bruce Banner. I couldn't remember his name at first. I know it was a legendary Joe Fixit.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so he does have control of it. He is not the Hulk. Yes, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying the Banner is the Hulk.
Okay.
I'm just saying that he has control of the Hulk.
All right.
But he can't banner in. So the lullaby, I don't know what it is, because I thought it was the music and everything that they had him playing, like the actual lullaby they had him listening to. But that was one, like, I thought that was just, like, to calm his nerves, because it's after he is transformed.
Right.
But I thought it was just, like, to calm his nerves down more and stuff and relax him. But they do the lullaby, oh no, what was the phrasing? Yeah, Tony says he could use it while Banner was the Hulk. He says, I could really use the lullaby right about now.
Okay.
In terms of, I think he was saying it in terms of Romanoff not being around. Like, oh, I could really use the lullaby right now if Romanoff was actually around here somewhere.
Right.
But I'm not sure, and also, like, he was saying it as a way to de-transform the Hulk. So, I don't know what the lullaby was supposed to be. I'm not sure if I missed it.
I don't think you missed anything. My interpretation is that it's, like just when Romanoff's around and when she does the whole, sun's getting real low thing.
Okay.
Like, not a lullaby in the traditional musical sense, but more in a, like, this is the thing that calms down the Hulk sense.
Okay. I mean, but that wouldn't work when he's, like that when he's under the influence.
Right.
Well, they have, like, narcotics.
To be fair, like, Tony didn't know that it wouldn't have worked. And it's possible it may have.
I just don't see how you could get him to stop moving long enough to say a word to him.
Yeah, fair.
Like, if it was anybody other than Romanoff, sure, like Iron Man, because he can fly around with him. But, like, Romanoff, unless she's, like, grabbing onto his neck and, like, hey, the sun's going down! It's gonna be hard to, like...
I mean...
It only works to banner him in because he can control it and because he's not just going to smash you in the face as soon as he sees you.
But I mean, that's also just the general problem with the Hulk. Like, you don't know when he's not, like, how do you get him, like, if he's in a smashy mood and you want to get him in a not smashy mood, how do you do it?
I don't know if we've seen him in a smashy mood since the Incredible Hulk, though. Like, I mean, but he was under the influence of alien narcotics.
Right.
But yeah, we every time we've seen him in Avengers and now, he has had it under control. Like, he's not, Hulk smashy. When I'm saying, when I picture Hulk out of control, I picture a Hulk that will punch anybody.
Right.
Or a Hulk that at least tries to. Because I guess even in The Incredible Hulk, he didn't punch Ross.
Right.
But, I mean, I guess I don't know what the difference is in Incredible Hulk then. Like, in the beginning, he doesn't have control over it. But at the end, I guess maybe it must have been whatever Stern did to him gave him the control over it more so than, like, not full control over it as he has now. Full control in the way that a jockey has full control of a horse.
Okay.
But he gave him partial control when he underwent that whole effects with Stern. That's the only thing I can think of, because in that final fight there, he is very specifically, like... But no, even before Stern is Ross in the caves and stuff.
Well, with that, I don't think that necessarily has to be Banner's in control, though. Like, I think that was just the Hulk.
Sure,
like,
okay, that was just Hulk not being in a smashy mood.
Yeah.
Which, it feels weird for the Hulk not to be in a smashy mood, but...
Yeah, but I think there is a delineation there between Hulk, who could get smashy, but Banner's, he's being the jockey, he's got the reins on him, and Hulk just choosing not to smash, which is also possible.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. I guess it was just the Hulk choosing not to smash back then, and now it's control. Like, now we do see it's full control.
Right.
Like, back then, she would be, like, touching his hand, and he would still be acting very Hulk-like, but just calmed down. Now, we can see that it's, like, the Hulk doing grunts, but we can see Banner's expressions in the face.
Right.
We can see him making human expressions. He's not making Hulk want to smash expressions. He's making Hulk want to not be Hulk expressions. But yeah, so let's talk about his relationship with Natasha.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I like his relationship with Natasha. I wish he acknowledged Ross in any way.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
They were, it was a big thing. I loved her character and them together because she's been like one of the only damsels in distress no, I don't want to say damsels in distress actually, but like one of the only arbitrary forced love interests that all the characters have to have in their movie. That was like immediately interesting to me off the bat.
Okay.
Like mainly just because she didn't try and push Banner away, or like Banner didn't try and push her away really. I mean, he did initially when he became the Hulk, but in the movie after he connected with her,
right.
They actually stayed together and stuck together and everything like this. Because he, cared. Because you could actually tell that he loved her. I could feel the love for Ross from him because even in his Hulk state, he was willing to, be with her.
Right.
He realized that he hated being alone more than he hated the, danger that he put her in.
Yeah.
And he trusted that he could rein it in to some degree. Like, I mean, he was, he was Hulk around her many times and did nothing. So I think he was kind of like, I think,
right.
it's not as bad. But yeah, and then that sort of changes once the military is like, all right, you're arrested. And then he's like, well, now I have to go on the run again.
Yeah.
I don't want to think at the end of Incredible Hulk, it's not like he could just climb back in the helicopter and be like, all right, so we're just going to go home, cook some dinner. But yeah, now, again, once again, the Hulk... The Hulk feels like two different characters. I mean, Banner, feels like two different characters in this. Where it's like, I can't picture the Banner in Incredible Hulk doing what he did at the end of this movie. Like, why did he run away?
I mean...
I know why he ran away.
Yeah.
But, like, from the Incredible Hulk Banner character, why would he run away at the end of this movie? That's what I mean. Like, I get why this Banner would run away that we've established since Avengers, but, like, man, I really wish we had the old Banner back, the Banner I actually liked. And I have seen neither Mark Ruffalo nor Edward Norton in any other thing that I can think of. Maybe I have, but I don't know them as actors at all, aside from these movies, so I have no bias in this.
Fair.
God, Mark Ruffalo, like, he's okay, but he's just, like, every scene, he feels like he's acting in a play rather than in a movie. And I don't know, man, just, it might not be about him, but just also the way the character's written. It's just, I am not into this Banner character. I keep thinking that, like, well, this one they're gonna make me like Banner more. Nope. Don't. I don't dislike him. While I'm watching the movie, it's entertaining, but I don't really think about... Whenever I think about Bruce Banner, my mind immediately goes to the Incredible Hulk, because I just don't like this one.
Fair.
Yeah, I really wish he didn't run out. Like, the fact that he ran away at the end is just the biggest, like, example of, like, why I prefer the other Banner over this one. I can't stand this baby ass bitch maneuver. Like, there's no reason he has. No, I don't get it. He has control over the Hulk. Natasha can't have kids. She wants to be in a relationship with him. He wants to be in a relationship with her.
I mean,
there's no reason.
He opened up his heart to her, and then she kicked him down a well because she wanted him to do the thing he doesn't want to do. I get it.
I mean, sure. If I'm thinking about it, if it's... I didn't think about it that way. I didn't think about it as him just saying, I don't like you. I mean, if it's that, then I'm fine. I thought it was a, oh no, I love you too much to hurt you thing. But if it's
also
a...
valid interpretation.
Yeah, but I hope it's a, I don't want to be the Hulk and you made me be the Hulk. And yeah. So, speaking of which, Romanoff, I guess let's just talk about her relationship with Banner. Like, I don't know how, again, I like them together. They have an interesting dynamic. But I don't. There's nothing like particularly interesting about it. There's nothing. Now that the way things have played out, I'm not that interested anymore.
Okay.
If it didn't end with them in a relationship in this movie, I'm not that interested. Like, when I thought it was going to end them in a relationship, I was like, that's kind of cool. But I'm realizing now, when I say that I'm interested in them together, I guess I'm more just interested in the idea of a relationship amongst the Avengers in general. So I guess I'm not at all interested in them.
Oh, boy,
I guess
big
I'm
180.
just interested in the concept of a relationship. Like, it is, I'm realizing that as I'm saying it, that, like, there's nothing I can say as to why I like them together.
Yeah, I'm kind of hot and cold on the relationship.
Yeah.
Because, like, this movie in general has a lot of parental themes. Like, you've got Hawkeye and his family. You've got Ultron, his whole, you make a baby, then the baby kills you. You've got his weird daddy issues with Tony.
Yeah.
And then you have what's going on with, with Banner and Natasha.
Yeah.
Where it's sort of a relationship, but also sort of a parent-child situation.
And it's also, like, it's weird that, like, she's like, oh, I can't have any kids. To counter his argument of I can't have sex.
Right.
Which is, like, not his argument. At no point is he like, well, I can't have kids. He's like, I can't have sex. And she's like, that's fine, I can't have kids. And he's like, okay.
I mean, I took that as also as sort of, like, I can't have kids.
I know.
Or, like, I can't have this. Points in Hawkeye's life.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get the connection she's trying to make. And it's a big, also, it is a big vulnerable thing she says, and his reaction to it is just like,
Oh.
Yeah. Mark Ruffalo face. But yeah, I don't know. These two together, they don't seem like they're gonna work together. They don't seem like they're gonna work together.
Fair.
Seems like super awkward and doesn't know what she wants. I mean, well, I guess he also doesn't know what the hell he wants.
Yeah.
But so her nightmare was, people finding out what she's done / just reliving her past, I guess, in general. Like, I don't think that the nightmare we saw was the nightmare she was having.
Okay.
At least then, like, I don't know, like, her nightmare is just, like, I don't know what that would be. Her nightmare is going back in time and doing it again.
I mean...
And being reincarnated and having to go through it again.
I took it as just, her nightmare is just what she already did. Like, there's nothing that could possibly be worse than what she already went through.
Yeah, or I guess it's just because, like, they're all so weird. Because, like, also, Thor's. I don't know if anything in Thor's was supposed to be, like, it's supposed to be a nightmare they're having.
Right.
So Thor's, and nothing in Thor's should be anything that, like, Vision. I don't know why the fuck Vision appeared in Thor's. I have no idea why he appeared in Thor. I don't get that part. I was going to bring that up later, at the end, but, like, with just the whole neighbors in general, and there's a lot that I don't understand going between them. Why is Natasha's her past? Nobody else's is their past.
Right.
Why is Thor something that he shouldn't know? I don't get it. But, yeah, so I'm not sure what her nightmare is supposed to be, if it's just her reliving her past, or her, I think it's just her nightmare is what she has done. I think that is what I said.
Okay.
Or people finding out what she has done, or something.
Okay.
But, yeah, I don't know. It is a weird way to go about it. I guess it was just like, how do I put this? It was because nothing we got there was information we don't already have about her. So I'm not sure why they didn't do it in the way they did all the other nightmares. Unless it is supposed to be a thing of, like, nobody remembers anything about Black Widow. We have to remind them everything. I mean, it could just be that. But then, the most important part of it we didn't even see.
Right.
So I'm not sure why it matters. Like, why they did it that way, I mean. I don't know. Feels weird. But anyway, yeah. We didn't really get any more new information besides she's just, and she wasn't, it's not called chemically castrated. What is it called?
Sterilized?
Yeah, she was sterilized. But yeah, she was sterilized, and It seems like she only had to kill one person, which honestly I thought she had to do way worse. But it seems like all she's had to do is kill just like one innocent person, which is terrible. It's gonna fuck with you,
Right.
But like I was expecting way even the Senate was making it seem way worse than that. So maybe there's a lot we haven't seen yet, but
Perhaps.
But like from what they showed us, it was like I don't know. I was expecting them to show us more.
Right.
All the other ones, their nightmares hit a bit harder, but hers was just like, we knew. We already knew that.
Yeah, it's less bombastic than the rest.
Yeah. There was the two little girls with no mouths. That could be tied back into something. I don't know what the hell that's about. Two little girls with no mouths. That's gonna be tied back into something. Did forget about that.
Okay.
But yeah, I do like her characterization with the, struggling with what she had to do for the KGB and what she, has had to do for S.H.I.E.L.D. and, I'm very interested to see what she's going to do after this because it does seem like she's just going to be working for S.H.I.E.L.D. again, even though that was kind of her whole character arc at the beginning of, working for S.H.I.E.L.D. now, which isn't much better than the KGB. And yeah, she was the only one not to try to lift the hammer. I believe that's because she herself knows she isn't worthy. Like, she believes that, whether, it's true or not. I feel like it's got to be true, just by nature of how the hammer works.
Right.
But yeah, that was a nice moment. She didn't even try. She knows. So I brought this up to you as a point of like, man, her actor is really, weird. Anytime she tries to flirt, she does this like 60s bartender sort of like flirty, like that like mid-Atlantean accent. Is that what it's called? Not Atlantean.
Oh boy.
Mid-Atlantic accent.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, she sort of like does that whenever she's flirting, and then sort of like slips out of it as the line ends. But that actually might be like Pavloved into her from her KGB days.
Possible.
Because, it's very similar to Dottie from Carter, so it could be. She has this very flirty Southern Belle sort of mid-Atlantic sort of thing going on. Two very different things that I just stated there, but I'm very bad at accents, so I don't know which it is. So, what new gear did she get this movie? Well, her thighs are literally stronger than the fucking Iron Legion.
Oh, boy.
So, the Iron Legion, weaker than pistols, weaker than Black Widow's thighs. Or no, the Ultron made the bots that Strucker had. They're not the Iron Legion. The ones that they were fighting on Sokovia. They were built by Ultron. So,
I believe so.
The robots built by an android were crushed by human thighs.
I mean, Ultron is a child. He doesn't understand the birth-giving thighs.
He's so stupid.
He was made by two men. He doesn't understand the thighs.
Her thighs are so strong. They're the deadliest weapon in the MCU so far.
It's part of the training.
That shot where they're all fighting at the drill. I was like going by it frame by frame to see what everybody's doing, and like, because I was thinking like, what is Black Widow doing here? They're robots. Is she just shooting them? But no, she isn't shooting them. She just keeps like fucking suplexing them and shit, or whatever the thing is called where you hit him with the legs. Clint Barton. If he had a nightmare, what would it be? Well, it'd be him getting left behind or killed because everybody else ignored him. Like, I definitely think that's what we were, insinuating about this movie.
Okay.
He and his wife were both worried that, he would get gravely injured and then the Avengers would just be like, you gotta get out of here. Who cares? It's Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And it's understandable because everybody, mainly the audience, has been making fun of him the entire time. But I gotta say, this movie did do a very, it did seem like even Hawkeye was, in a meta sense, this movie worried they were going to kill him off for shock value.
Yeah.
But also him, brushing off the mind control attack and, saving all the Avengers' asses at that moment was very satisfying. But yeah, this movie did a fantastic job of really spinning it 180 on me of going, okay, I see why Black Widow is a part of the Avengers. She's got the espionage shit going on. She's the best in the world at it. You know, I get why she's on the Avengers, even if she's a normal human.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye, he's just the dude with a crossbow. Hawkeye is still just the dude with a crossbow, but his crossbow can do so much, and he's so, like, more than that, what makes him special is him as a pilot, I think.
Okay.
Him as a pilot, like, just seemed to, I think that's where we're going to go next movie. I think he's going to do some really cool piloting shit. But, yeah, like, his eyesight is really what makes him, like, special, I think. I don't think he has, like, the best eyesight in the world or anything, but I think that is what makes him special. His training plus his eyesight.
Right.
Whereas now Romanoff, I cannot find a reason why she should be a part of the Avengers. I mean, I don't want to joke and just say, well, her thighs can crush robots. Like, you know, realistically,
Okay. Fair.
why is she a part of the Avengers? The espionage is bullshit. Coulson's better than she is.
I mean, Coulson's different.
I mean, to be fair, Coulson is also an Avenger, technically. Or at least was before he died.
Yeah.
Or I guess that would have been. I guess he was never an Avenger. He was supposed to be, but he never was an Avenger.
True.
Because they weren't the Avengers until after he died.
Because they avenged him.
Yes. But yeah, just Romanoff. She should just leave. Like, when her and the Hulk were like, we should just leave, I was like, yeah, honestly, yeah. Like, just we don't really need you. The Hulk now is super nice to have. Like, but ultimately, if he's gonna be a big baby about everything, then if he's gonna not want to turn into the Hulk when he can control it, then just leave. If you're not even gonna help. Hawkeye's family was great. Seeing that, like, that big twist. Hawkeye gets along with people. He's not an incel. So it is a great way to make him stand out as a character, having a family, because none of the others have a family, or even, like, and I mean that even in terms of not having kids. Like, Pepper and Tony are not a family.
Yeah.
Jane and Thor are not a family. Nobody really has a family vibe going on other than Hawkeye.
Yeah.
They just have the dudes that have girlfriends vibe. They have girlfriends. They see them maybe once a year, and that's about it. Also, none of them have wives yet. Literally, none of the Avengers have a wife or a husband yet. I don't know why that feels weird, but it does. But yeah. Yeah. It took me until a second rewatch to realize that Natasha was talking about Barton when she said her best friend. We know so little about either of them that I had no idea who she was talking about. I sat there going like, what? I figured she was talking about him, but I couldn't quite figure out if she was talking about him or if she was joking when she said it. Or if it was a joke and she was being sarcastic about one of the others or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, just in general, I really like what they did with Clint and Natasha. Like, the fact that they are just really good friends. And, like, they've had a past together, but they're just coworkers/friends. Going into Age of Ultron, a lot of people just kind of assumed they were going to be a couple. Because, they're the two least powered people there. Hawkeye doesn't have a lot going on. Like, it's just the easiest thing to do. And I really like that Clint just has a normal life. They didn't pair them up.
I will say that they definitely do not feel like friends, though. Like, as I said, the Rebels, lifting the hammer thing, made them feel like friends. But Black Widow is the only one, and I don't even want to say it's like her and Clint don't feel like friends. It's just like, she just, she's the Robin of the group from One Piece. She's the person who, she might like being around them, and they might like being around her, but she doesn't say a whole lot. She doesn't really have a lot of interactions. She kind of keeps to herself. She knows what she has done, so she's kind of just like, she's that kind of character, you know?
Yeah.
She has a dark past, and she knows what she's done, so she kind of stays reserved.
Right.
So, yeah, she doesn't really feel like a best friend to him in the way that a lot of the others feel like friends already.
Yeah, like I envision her at Clint's house the same way that like Coulson would stop by at Pepper's house. I can see it.
I don't know if Coulson would stop by Pepper's house.
I'm pretty sure he said he was. Like in Iron Man 2, right?
Maybe. I mean, for official business, not as her best friend.
You don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that's more Hill. Hill and Pepper have that, like, real gal pal energy going on. They have that dishing about their... well, I was going to say husbands, but I guess dishing about their husband and Nick Fury. What else do we have? Right, that he had an archery target in the barn. That was sweet. I didn't notice anything else really unique. Like I was looking for like background gags, but I didn't really see anything. He has like the archery thing in the barn and like nothing else. He has like no other hobby.
I mean, I think that's on purpose. Like in the sense that he seems to keep his avenging way far away from his family. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, specifically, like, he doesn't... I guess his hobby is just redoing the house.
Yeah.
I guess that was the point. But, like, because he spends so much time out here, I was, like, really looking for, like, you know... I wanted to see if he, like, you know... You can see, like, in the background, he makes, like, model houses or, you know, some stupid little thing like that.
Right.
But, I know, all I could find was just the archery thing. He's very one track. Okay. Let's move on to the Maximoff twins.
Oh, boy.
We're not even close to being done, and we're nearly 2.5 hours into this.
Oh, boy. Okay, before we go into the actual talk, there's something I've wanted to tell you for a long time.
Yes.
Which is that... we did mention this briefly off camera, that the Maximoffs are, in fact, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver of famous X-Men fame.
Do they ever say Scarlet Witch in the movie?
No.
Okay.
There's one line where they call her Witchy.
Ah.
And I don't think they bring up any mention of Quicksilver.
No.
Yeah.
I thought his name was Blur. Like, when he said, like, oh yeah, that guy's a blur. I always look for that, like, one word, like, oh, it's the
you
name.
gotta. I mean, 99% of the time, it works.
Yeah.
But, okay, so...
I also think I think I predicted that her name was Weird. Like I was like, I think his name is Blur and her name is Weird to you. I don't think I ever said it on camera, but anyway.
So, Marvel Studios and 20th Century Fox got into a hot fight over these two because they both wanted to use them.
Okay. Wait, is she also an X-Men?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Like, they are both, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are pretty famously both siblings, both children of Magneto, very, very famous X-Men villain / character.
I think I know how they got the rights to this.
Okay. So, they technically didn't get the rights. Rather, they got, like, because they argued that the, like... Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are also Avengers characters. They were part of the second ever Avenger team.
Okay.
Like, they've been Avengers characters for a long time.
Damn.
So, and, you know, they're both important characters in general. I see why they would want them to be in the MCU.
Yeah.
So, both 20th Century and Marvel Studios went to courts, and they decided, alright, we can both use these characters. However... 20th Century Fox has exclusive rights to call them mutants. And if they want to do anything with Magneto or anything like that, that's on them. Any, like, mutant-first storylines, that's them.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. That these two are specifically not mutants.
Yeah, they cannot legally be mutants.
Yeah.
Which is why we got the whole Mind Stone thing.
Yeah.
And, of course, they can't be related to Magneto, like, not even in, like, a winky-winky thing.
Yeah.
And, like, at the same time that... the casting specifically for Quicksilver was announced for Age of Ultron. The casting for Quicksilver for X-Men Days of Future Past happens.
Okay.
So we had 2 movies coming out, not the exact same time, but within very close proximity, using the same character who could not legally be considered the same character.
Well... Amazing. I will say, by the way, that I do plan to watch the X-Men movies at some point, way later down the line, way after we're done all of the MCU, or at least caught up on it, I mean. So not anytime soon. But yeah, I do plan to do that a long time ago. A long time in the future. I have seen all of the Quicksilver scenes in X-Men, though. I'm pretty sure. There might be some I haven't seen. But like, the big ones, I assume, are the ones I've seen.
There's one that's considered to be like Quicksilver's definitive moments in cinema.
I've seen the mansion that's on fire or something.
Okay.
I've seen the one that's like in a lab or something like that, where he's like running circular walls. I think it just might be those two, maybe.
Okay.
I think I might have only seen those two.
Yeah.
I can't think of another one off the top of my head.
The lab one is generally considered to be like the best Quicksilver scene.
Really? Okay. I
mean, assuming it's the one I'm thinking of, which it might not be.
Okay. By the way, very sad he's dead, because he's the only reason that I have ever wanted to watch the X-Men. I've never had really interest in the X-Men in the same way that I've never really had interest in the DCU. Yeah, just the Quicksilver scenes have always been the only thing that's made me be like, oh man, I want to watch X-Men. But yeah, the house on fire where he was saving everybody was like, it's still probably the best superhero. I haven't seen anything in the MCU that's beat it so far.
Wow.
But
high praise.
Yeah. I mean, this movie got close, but it wasn't, there's not like a scene. But like, I am a sucker for saving people.
Okay.
If you can have a fantastic scene where it's primarily about saving people, that whole scene wasn't about fighting, it was just about him saving people.
Right.
And that's why I loved it so much. Lab one, just fighting.
Okay.
As far as I remember.
But yeah, so X-Men went very hard on Quicksilver. Age of Ultron killed him off.
Yeah.
So you can see pretty clear how they delineated it. And of course, because Marvel Studios is very close connected to actual Marvel.
Try and project more to the mic.
No, I refuse. But yeah, because they're very closely connected to the comics, of course, they decided to try and really cement their control on the two characters. So in the comics, they're also not mutants anymore.
Okay.
And like that's
Wait.
that's super duper far down the line.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to get to. I don't know if you mean they stopped being mutants or they introduced, different Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver that aren't mutants.
I refuse to elaborate.
Okay.
But I just wanted to bring that up because A, it's a wild story.
It's very interesting.
And B, it's one of the first examples I can really think of like the comics also doing something to be like, okay, the movies are doing something, let's just tweak this right here, just in case we legally need to defend this in the future.
And it is something that, I am very interested in that because I bring up powers a lot, and, I am very obsessed with the fact that we have not had powers from birth yet, and I don't think we ever will, because I can't see how they're going to do it if mutants are people with powers from birth. What the Inhumans are the closest you're going to get to that,
right?
Where they have the potential to have powers, but they don't have powers from birth. They have to go through a transformation first.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know how the fuck you could differentiate mutants from just somebody who has powers at birth.
Right.
But at the same time, I remember reading some of the Golden Age comics and having a question about that, of being like, well, would this not be classified as a mutant? And you've been like, no, there's this very distinct difference between the mutants and just people that are born with powers. But
yeah.
Either way, anyway. So the two of them, they were in a bombing that happened at 10. They got caught. Their whole country is just caught in between a war, and not even not as in their country is involved in the war, just literally their country is caught in between physically a war.
Yeah.
Stark missile flies in right in front of their face, doesn't go off for 3 days, except Tony did go off immediately. As you said, I didn't make that connection until you brought it up, but yeah, that's a strong ass connection to Iron Man 1 with the missile right in front of Tony's face. But yeah, that missile fucking blew up for Tony's face, didn't blow up for them. Tony's had to deal with that. It's a, he can't just be like, oh, stop being bitches, you guys. But, and plus, all that's in the past and all that stuff. But it's a very, very strong tying. This movie is just very Tony based.
Yeah.
Tony forward in general. I was hoping it was gonna be a lot more Banner focused, but it didn't seem to be. Yeah. So and then they went and joined Hydra because from their perspective, it doesn't really seem that bad. Like, I mean, ultimately, it's Hydra. If you're not a fucking idiot retard child, you know they're Nazis. Like, I can't imagine how they would not know they're Nazis. But at this point, it's only Hydra who ever tries to distance themselves from the Nazis. No one else is like, but Hydra's not. No one on the news is like, but Hydra's not Nazis, guys.
Right.
It's only Hydra that tries to distance themselves from Nazis. But maybe they've convinced them. Whatever. The Nazi thing is a bit weird, but ultimately, anybody joining Hydra is gonna be okay with Nazi shit, I guess. So they got that going on. But aside from them just kind of joining a Nazi organization, it doesn't, from the perspective, from after Winter Soldier, after all the, stuff that's come to light from what S.H.I.E.L.D. has been doing over the years, it makes sense that they're just like, yeah, and there's not really much of a difference.
Right.
Joining Hydra versus Black Widow joining S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff, it's a difference, but it's not enough of a difference for me to hold it against them and be like, oh, they're not allowed to be in the Avengers, they were in Hydra.
Right.
It's like, if Captain America was a part of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're allowed to be part of the Avengers.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, again, that's the entire thing about Black Widow's whole character is. She left a really bad organization to join a kind of bad organization. And yeah, Pietro and Wanda, those two motherfuckers, giving the entire damn Avengers a run for their money, just these two, because having real powers, Thor has lightning, that's not a power. You know what I mean? There's a difference between having Captain America, between being able to shoot out some lightning, and having some super speed, having whatever the fuck Wanda is. Which I guess let's get into that.
Sure.
The Scarlet Witch is mental manipulation, neuroelectric interfacing, and telekinesis. Telekinesis, I get.
Okay.
I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it, but I get it as a word. Telekinesis. Sure. It makes sense why they call it that. It is a physical thing. It's not telekinesis. It is a physical thing. She can also make a shield out of it and stuff. That's not I mean, maybe that's not, but it's also physical. It is physical. Telekinesis can't be physical. At least I don't think so. I don't know. So mental manipulation.
Okay.
Neuroelectric interfacing. How are they different?
I mean, it seems like mental manipulation is just sort of a subset of neuroelectric interfacing.
I guess, then why bring up both?
Because, like, neuroelectric interfacing, I think, covers all the mind stuff she does, like when she knows people are bad. I think the mental manipulation is really, like, that's the midpoint between the telekinesis and the neuroelectric interfacing.
The neuroelectric interfacing, though, is ostensibly the same as the telekinesis. It's all one thing.
Right,
it's all telekinesis, except it's physical. And then, I mean, it's alien, so we don't know how the hell it works. Of course, it's going to be messing with the, just because it's physical doesn't mean that it can't also be doing neuroelectrical interfacing.
Right.
When it's touching the brain. It's alien. But yeah, I just, mental manipulation and neurological interfacing, I don't know why Hill said them both. Like, one covers the other.
I guess she wanted to just really confirm, like, guys, she can mess with your brain. She
was
manipulate
only telling
you.
it to Cap, who had no idea what she was saying.
Cap, she can mess with your brain. And Cap responded with
She didn't even tell him that. She just said, she's weird. That's why they all got attacked by her and got them into manipulation, because she didn't properly explain it.
I mean, that comes down to Hill just not telling it to Tony. Why would you tell it to Cap? Cap doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, and the parallel, like, I was talking about the parallel with S.H.I.E.L.D., but also the parallel with, how Steve joined the army and being a super soldier and all them and how they did it. Like, yeah, it's not that weird. Not that weird at all.
I can see why he's okay with that.
Yeah. And then Hill being like, we're not at war. Yes, we are. What do you mean? Yes, we are. We're always at war. When are we not at war?
That's the most American thing he's said in a while.
Seriously though, when's the last time we've been not at war?
It's been a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So on top of the only thing that's not physical about her ability that I can think is the fact that she sensed Petro when he died.
Right.
And I don't see how that's possible physically. Like, because she didn't have, like, the stuff over there.
Right, like there wasn't...
Like, it would be possible physically, but I don't see how that would be possible physically. No information in the movie was given to me how that would be physically possible.
Right.
So that might be a bit of mental only part of it that we've seen. Also, she can fly. That's just...
I mean, that's telekinesis.
I guess. Well, if that's just telekinesis, why didn't she do that throughout the whole goddamn movie? Why did she have to wait until the very end to do it? It wasn't until she was trained. So, overall, though, she just seems to have the abilities of the Aether, it seems, plus mental abilities. Like, I don't see what is different about the Aether other than her mental abilities.
Right.
But all the telekinesis, the shield, the flying should all be doable with the Aether.
Yeah.
And I still don't know what the Aether is. But yeah, so I don't know what the difference is between the Aether and the Mind Stone and Scarlet Witch. Quicksilver. He has increased metabolism and improved thermal homeostasis. How the fuck does that make him run fast?
Because, as we've established...
No.
His brain...
No.
Yes.
That's not been established. This has been established. Increased metabolism. Improved thermal homeostasis. How does that make him run faster?
Because, when you eat food and that gives you the strength to run?
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me run faster.
I mean, it makes you run. So, he has the power to burn the food faster, which allows him to move faster.
No. I like his ability is just explaining why he doesn't die when he runs fast, but it doesn't explain why he runs fast.
I mean, have you considered that everyone could run fast if they just didn't suffer the side effects?
Holy shit. That is what it is. That's legitimately, if his ability is increased metabolism and improved thermal homeostasis, everybody can run at that speed, they would just die. Oh, science is incredible. All the slow-mo looked incredible. Looked amazing. And yeah, rip our first Avenger. First Avenger, down in the dust. It died the movie was introduced.
Saved Hawkeye.
Saved Hawkeye's life.
Took that death flag like a champ. Like, Hawkeye was racking up death flags.
Okay, I thought you meant like he had a death flag the whole, Quicksilver.
No.
But yeah, I dug him a lot. I loved him. I love both of them. Just, if we did not have both of them there, 90% of the people we saved would be dead, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the main reason why the vast majority of them got to safety was the mental manipulation. And also, the vast majority, the only reason they didn't all die to the train, everybody on that path, was because of Quicksilver and both of them.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that train was going like 1,000 miles an hour and had no friction. I don't know what was happening with that train. It was off the rails for like 5 minutes going 1,000 miles an hour, smashing through brick walls. It is insane. Sokovia, slow down your trains.
Their train technology is really advanced.
Train technology is so much more advanced than their robot technology. Should have just got, Black Widow just stand there with her thighs open.
Oh no!
Now we get to Vision. Vision. Let's talk about the Regeneration Cradle. Regeneration Cradle. Prince Tissue. Nano Tissue. Is what it's called.
Okay.
Similar to the face mask. That was not the face mask. It's all the same face mask. But in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a face mask was burned on a car's face in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The inventor of that face mask was able to repair the burnt skin tissue with nano tissue, but that was not actually the skin. That was just the fake skin of the nano mask.
Right.
Her actual skin was not fixed. So, it's similar, but now they've actually been able to get it to mix with real skin and have it work like that. That I assume was more metal and stuff. This is, I assume this has pores, it can sweat, it can do skin stuff, while the other one just looked like skin.
Right.
Also, they said vibranium is the most versatile substance on the planet. I think we had a talk about this off camera. We can both agree that is a flat out 100% lie.
I mean, I've been thinking about it. I think vibranium's pretty darn useful.
Useful is not the key word here.
Versatile?
Versatile. Many uses. Useful. Many uses.
I mean, sure, it's just unbreakable. But in any situation...
It's unbreakable, and it can be used to bind with living cells. Two big, huge things.
Right.
Versatile, though.
But in terms of, the things you could build with an unbreakable substance, I think that's where the versatility could really come in.
I wouldn't consider that to be versatile. As you said, the water is very versatile.
Right.
This isn't versatile, it's just very useful. It's it's the most useful substance on the planet, maybe. Sure.
Okay.
But it's not the most versatile.
I see.
I thought we agreed, and you turned your back on me and disagreed at the end.
It's the way I work.
So, Vision's body. The vibranium atoms bind with the living cells. Now, we also had a long talk about this. Either Dr. Helen Cho is either wrong or I don't understand how that works. Because if she's saying it the way she's saying that it's not binding to the parts of the cells, like oxygen binding to iron and blood cells, but that it's binding to the cell itself.
Right.
Which isn't coating it. So I don't see how it would be possible to bind to the cell itself and not parts of the cells, and it not just be coating the cell. So I assume she's wrong, or that Joss Whedon is wrong, and that it is vibranium atoms bind with parts of living cells. So the cell is not being binded with it, but part of it is, so the cell is part vibranium, part normal cell, and not, just covered in vibranium.
The other option would be that you can cover the cells in vibranium, and yet somehow the cell still works.
I mean, I don't know if the vibranium naturally has pores or not. But, I don't know. It just doesn't seem... I mean, it's arbitrary anyway. It doesn't really matter. But I like, actually knowing how it works. So.
Yeah. The only reason I'm thinking about this is because I was rewatching that scene where we see the vibranium in the cells, and it does look like the color completely changes.
I don't know if I agree with that. I don't see that at all. I've watched that scene 1,000 times. Kept playing it back. And I do not think... I think it's just the blue is behind the yellow.
Okay.
I don't think it's changing the color, but I think it's just, it's not a solid color. So when it went behind it, you're seeing the... Never mind.
No, I get it.
But, his mind. He was at least 93% Jarvis's reconfigured matrix, which is not Jarvis, but something new. And we will call that Good Ultron.
Okay.
That is the program that Tony wanted to build.
Sure.
He is 93% the program Tony wanted to build.
Okay.
Not 93% Jarvis.
Okay.
Because it was Jarvis's reconfigured Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
So it was not Jarvis.
Mm-hmm.
It was something new. He was also at least 3.5% bad Ultron. 7% of 50%.
Right.
Because Ultron uploaded 50% of himself into the body.
Okay.
And then of that 50%, when they were, doing their, when they were having Jarvis's reconfigured Matrix battle the 50% Ultron inside there, they, what am I trying to say here? That was only 50% of Ultron, so when there was 7% left, that should have only been 3.5% technically.
Okay, yeah.
Or it could have been, as we said, like that it was just... so it could still be 7% him. I'm not really sure how that works, but whatever. I'm going to say 3.5%.
Sure,
Ultron.
fine.
Like, it is 7% 3.5% bad Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
It's very confusing, I understand, but it's 3.5% 7 or 7% 3.5% bad Ultron. Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to, that's different from it being 93% 100% Jarvis's reconfigured Matrix.
Okay.
As opposed to 7% of 3.5% bad Ultron. So, then everything was unplugged. Then Thor hit it with electricity, which overcharged the power. Which, if Thor's lightning is just straight up electricity, I don't see how it would do anything except for speed up the transfer, which it did. But there's not really any, high strangeness going on with Vision.
Okay.
There's no, Thor has special electric powers or whatever. It's just... he charged the thing. It made the power go high, which made the power go high, I guess.
Right.
I didn't really seem to do anything. It's just Thor hits stuff electricity and power goes high because he's got a lot of electricity, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's not a lot of high stranges going on there. Yes, and unlike Ultron and the Mind Stone, Jarvis's Matrix was based on a human brain.
Wait, do we know that?
Yeah, Tony says, well, I guess we don't know if Jarvis's reconfigured Matrix is based on a human brain, actually. I guess we don't know that. Huh. Because if it was reconfigured, it would be reconfigured basing off the AI in the Mind Stone, which is not human. So I guess that's not true. I guess it's not human. That's interesting, though, because Vision is very human.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Because he shouldn't be. Huh. I wonder what's going on there. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, ultimately, he is 93% Jarvis's reconfigured Matrix and 3.5% bad, or 7%, 3.5% bad Ultron. Which is, I thought there was going to be a lot more, when I watched that scene, I was so confused. But watching it back, it's not actually that confusing.
Right.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It seems like there was a whole lot of high strangeness going on with him, but it's pretty scientific. And his powers, though, he can overwrite code just by touching. He could touch Ultron and erase him from the internet.
Yeah.
Which is fucking insane. But it did use up all of his mind energy. I don't know what that means, but it used up his mind energy in some way.
Yeah.
He also has the beam. As they all have the beam.
They got the beam.
Everybody's got the beam.
He can fly.
He can fly. Of course. I guess I never really thought about why he could fly.
Yeah.
He doesn't have thrusters. He can just fly.
That's important. It's not thrusters. It doesn't seem to be a mechanical repulsor thing.
I never really thought about it because I again kept thinking there was so much high strangeness going on with him. But yeah, now I don't know how he can. I guess it's the same way that, Ultron's abilities seem to be magnetic in nature. So I assume this is magnetic as well. He's just, using the poles to make himself float.
Okay.
I guess that's what it's got to be. Because otherwise, what the fuck would it be? Yeah. Little additional notes on War Machine. Again, just very surprised at how much focus he's getting, and I'm absolutely loving it. He's going to make a great Avenger. I did not think him or Falcon were going to be an Avenger. Falcon, I'm curious to see how he's going to work out as an Avenger, considering he is the most undeserving of being an Avenger.
Okay.
Just by nature of he's just a dude with a suit, you know?
He's pilots. He's like a worse Hawkeye.
He's a lot worse Hawkeye. But, yeah. Also, Falcon, bitch wasn't even at the Battle of Sokovia. Like, he got a brand new suit, though. At the end, he got a brand new suit. He was at the party, and then he didn't even show up for the big Battle of Sokovia. Now, I know, he's a war vet, and he's, you know, probably shouldn't be going in war because that's kind of... he's wants out of that, you know? But he's a part of the Avengers, so what else is he going to do? Like, seriously. Don't be a part of the Avengers then.
I mean, was he an Avenger at the time?
No. But I'm saying, if the excuse for him not being at the battle, because War Machine was, and he wasn't an Avenger.
Right.
So, if the excuse for him not being at the battle is, well, he doesn't like war because he's a war veteran, well, then why are you in the Avengers?
Alternatively, what if they just didn't give him the Falcon harness till afterwards?
I mean, no, because he was going around looking for, Bucky. He's been flying around looking for Bucky.
Okay.
So he has to have that. I assume. Or at least his old one. Or no. Did the old one break?
The old one was broken. Like in Winter Soldier.
Right. I mean, they could have just repaired it, but still. Probably made him another one. I mean, like, the one we saw him have is probably just the one they gave him. I guess that's it. I guess that's all of my notes. That is it. We're finally fucking done.
3 hours.
3 hours. 3 hours. And I feel like I didn't talk about everything I wanted to talk about. There's so much in this movie. So much. It is now 8:30 p.m. I have last eaten at 10:30 a.m. I'm hungry.
Oh boy.
I'm fucking hungry. It's been 10 hours since I've last eaten. I'm fucking hungry.
Alright. Well, before you eat anything,
Yes.
we have some things we usually say.
No.
What do you think the next Avengers movie's gonna be like? Guess it.
What the next Avengers is Infinity War.
Yes.
It's so far away. Why do you make me do the next?
I always do it. You knew it was gonna happen.
I am guessing that Thanos is no, because that would be Ragnarok. This is so hard trying to predict like 8 movies ahead. I am going to predict that Thanos is going to... What would be not the next step, but the step after that?
Like, what is the next big Avengers thing?
I mean, Thanos... I guess Thanos comes to Earth. Thanos comes to Earth.
Okay.
That's my guess. I don't know. I have no idea. I have nothing to go off of.
Alright, next...
Doctor Strange killed everybody. I don't know.
Next obligatory question. Every MCU movie could be someone's first MCU movie. How is Avengers Age of Ultron as someone's first MCU movie?
The worst one yet. Now, the better question that I think more people are interested in, and I am actually interested in.
Okay.
What do I think is going to happen in Ant-Man?
Oh, yeah.
It's happening very soon. I think the plot, the big thing in Ant-Man will be...
I don't know how you're doing this one. I mean...
It's so much easier than the Avengers.
Infinity War, you have something to go off of.
I have nothing to go off of. That's like 9 movies ahead.
You have more than Ant-Man.
No, I absolutely do not.
What do you have about Ant-Man?
This movie just happened.
Okay.
That's what I have to go off of. This movie just happened. So I think Ant-Man is going to be...
It's so easy.
I think the villain is going to be a scientist. I think he is going to not team up with the Avengers until the very end of the movie. I think it's going to be an after-credit scene. I don't think there's going to be any connection in the movie itself.
Okay.
I think... This is hard. It's not as hard as Infinity War. That's my guess. I give up.
Okay.
So, how'd you feel about the movie? Let's go over your notes.
Okay. Honestly, overall, I like this movie a lot more, like, now than I did in the moment back then. And I think part of it is just the context of knowing, like, this isn't how every movie is from now on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, also, there's been a Phase 3. I know that Marvel hasn't completely tanked. I know that this wasn't the death knell of the MCU.
That's good. Like, yeah, I guess I'm not, having that hanging over my head.
I was able to sit down and really just, enjoy the fact that we got some Hawkeye focus, finally.
Yeah, I love getting that.
Like, Hawkeye hasn't had a solo movie, but this feels like the Hawkeye movie. I mean, he's sharing it with a lot of people.
Yeah, I would say still Tony has more focus than Hawkeye did.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a case that if you jigger a few things around, this could be Iron Man 4 in terms of focus.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm by the way, I'm surprised that I'm liking Tony as much now that, his movies are over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I'm just very surprised that I'm liking him as much. And I'm very curious as to where we're gonna be going with his character. Like, he's had this whole alien thing going on since before his movies were even over.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to where we're gonna move on from there. Yeah. It's interesting with Tony. I'm surprised I'm still loving him as much as I am, and he's still my number one character in the MCU, even with, him, all his movies being over. Like, they got it all done so quickly, and yet he's still the most interesting one.
I mean, he started the MCU, and, like, as of Age of Ultron, he's still, like, a very, very important, prominent, like, tentpole figure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which I think is a very bold thing to do, but at the same time, I think that's also kind of why they didn't give him his own movies. Because that way it lets him focus, like, it lets him be more of a, like, he's just in the world now.
Yeah.
Instead of specifically having to say, this is an Iron Man movie, therefore no one else is near him.
I mean, they didn't do that for Captain America.
I mean, they kind of did. Hulk wasn't there.
Well, no, but I mean,
he got Falcon, he got
Black Widow.
Black Widow. Yeah, I mean, Black Widow is...
I mean,
like,
I agree.
That's not a crossover.
I mean, I agree that Black Widow shouldn't be in the Avengers, but she is.
I mean, in the same way, I'd say that Thor is basically a solo Thor movie, but Hawkeye was there.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. Or like Iron Man 2.
I mean, they weren't...
I mean, Black Widow was in Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Like,
But she wasn't an Avenger. I mean, it's different.
I don't think it's that difference.
I think it is.
I think there's a difference in the amount of other character
I'm also
focus.
surprised because, like, I assumed that most of the movies going forward were going to be like Captain America, Winter Soldier. Like, I didn't expect any of the movies to have a singular character focus anymore.
Okay.
Like, when we get to Thor Ragnarok, I will be very surprised if of the Avengers, it's just Thor.
Okay.
I will be, honestly, very shocked. I mean, well, no. No, actually, I take that back, because it's Thor. Like, he's going to be up in fucking Asgard, and he's not going to take anybody with him. If it was any other movie, if it was anything else other than Thor, then I would say I 100 expect it for them to be not just that person. Like, Captain America Civil War. I do not expect that to be a Captain America movie.
Okay.
In the same way that, like, what did I say that for?
Ragnarok?
No, for Captain America Winter Soldier, I was saying this is a lot less of a Captain America movie and way more of a S.H.I.E.L.D. movie.
Okay.
But yeah, whatever.
Fair enough.
I expected, that's what I expected anyway, them to be. multiple Avengers in each of the movies for standalone people.
Okay, fair enough.
Otherwise, Winter Soldier's gonna be really weird looking back on. Like, I mean, maybe not just because it's Black Widow, but
Right. It's
either way, I don't have anything else to say. I am starving.
all right. Let's get you some food.
Okay, that's it. Bye-bye, suckers.